Hey, we live. Call me Shape. Let's get right into it. I got my boy from Fresh and Fruit. My boy, Fresh and Fruit. That ain't gonna go well. Fresh and Fruit. One of the original recruiters. My boy by the name of Ayindei Gordon. Okay, he's gonna join us shortly, and we're gonna chop it up. I'm trying to bring back live streaming to my channel. I know I haven't been live streaming a lot, but I'm trying to bring it back. I'm trying to bring it back. All right. So we got a couple topics we're covering tonight. The idea is, why is dating so trash? Why is the dating market trash? Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Dating is not trash for everybody. Definitely not trash for my guest. Okay, I think he definitely has his way with women. I feel like I got my way with women. Honestly, I won't lie with you. But we're gonna try to address the situation that's going on for the average dude, the average man in 2025. And this guy would know better than anyone else, right? The dude that I'm talking about, Yende Gordon, he was the go-to guy for recruiting girls for Fresh and Fit. Okay, he was the go-to guy. He's the one that came up with the idea for Fresh and Fit, or I guess you could say Fresh and Myron, to have a large panel of girls during a live stream. So this guy knows a thing or two about attracting women. Now, the thing that I want to let you guys know is that, you know, I got my little thing with women too. I used to be a photographer. People that know my history, that has watched some of my oldest videos, I used to be a photographer. I used to be a model photographer. So, it was not easy back then. Back when back when Instagram was just starting out. To get girls to come shoot with you and work with you. But I did it for such a long period of time where people started coming to me to get girls for their music videos and whatnot. So me and Ayinde kind of have a similar background. We got a similar background in that way. Now, this is what I do want to say though, as I do with all my guests. Please be respectful to my guests. Show them some love. If you guys want to donate, you could donate. If you want to ask some questions, you could do that. Also, memberships are live. For those who don't know, I just set up memberships on my channel. So if you guys want to become a member, be a member. I appreciate you guys. We got the Silver Squad. We got the Gold Squad. So if you want to support the channel, that's how you do it. Also, I guess I got to say it because people are giving me a lot of shit about it. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. All right. I do not dislike the guy. Well, I don't hate him. Okay, but I just didn't agree with a lot of his talking points. But either way, we should be able to have free speech in this country where you are not dealt with in such a hostile way in order to silence you. So I don't agree with that at all. Mr. says, oh, there, got the in and out. So I'm here, but I'm going to catch the replay. My eyelids are heavy as shit right now. Yeah, bro, no worries. Catch the replay. The replay is going to be up. I do these videos mainly for the replay anyway. The way I title it, the way I do the thumbnail for it. I know most people may or may not be available for these impromptu lives, okay? But either way, so we're going to discuss, and it's not that 12 in order. I'm going to probably go on for an hour or so, but we're going to discuss women, why the dating market is trash. Yende is of his opinion that it's men's fault. I thought that was pretty interesting. We might disagree on that. What can average men do to get more attractive women? You guys can definitely get my book. I don't know if you got my book. It's a free ebook. Download my free ebook. Be attractive and shut up. That's one of the easiest ways to get more girls. I am coming out with another book though. And some people might wonder why they see that free ebook in a lot of my videos. Well, one, I'm promoting it because I have another book coming out called Triple Your Body Count. Okay, Triple Your Body Count. I've been working on it for a few months now. I think it's an amazing book, but I focus on brevity. I didn't want to put a lot of fluff in it, so focus on brevity. But it's going to be a great book. It's going to be absolutely a great book. what else is going on? I do want to cover. I wonder if maybe Yende's going to want to talk about some people too. Like maybe he's going to want to talk about some of the different current events going on. Right? I've seen a lot of Brittany Renner stuff going on on my timelines. A lot of Brittany Renner talk. Who else am I seeing? Obviously, the tragedy from yesterday. Today's 9/11. Oh my God. Can you remember today's 9/11 and we're not even do we even talk about 9/11 anymore? It used to be like a national day of remembrance, right? Remembering the tragedy who many people think was an in-house job anyway, but damn. So rest in peace to everyone that passed away in 9/11, man. Jesus. What a day to reflect on such a tragic event in New York. All right. Another thing I want to talk about. Get my hats. I got my hats for sale, obviously. I want to come out with some new colors, but I want to sell out of the batch that I have now. So the colors you see now on the channel, they're like a limited time now. Like once they're gone, they're gone. I want to come out with a new batch of hats, but I want to wait till my inventory is down. It's almost done. My inventory is almost. I'm almost out of hats actually. I got a new light blue color I never put out just yet. I gave it to someone emailed me. Someone sent me an email about hats and stuff, and they wanted the blue hat, and I ran out of the blue hat so fast. But I have this light blue hat I never put up there, but maybe I should consider putting it up there. I don't know. we'll see. But like I said, if you guys are just tuning in now, I got my brother Ayinde coming in. He's from the Fresh and Fit podcast. He's helped Fresh and Fit recruit girls. You know what I'm saying? So all the girls you see on their panel shows, he's the main recruiter. He's one of the main recruiters. And shout out to my brother Jeff St. James. He's the one that connected us. Jeff St. James went to Fresh and Fit a few weeks ago, almost a month ago now, I guess. And he linked up with a Yende, and he got us in touch with each other. So shout out to my boy Jeff St. James. Which, by the way, he did an amazing. Take on the Charlie Kirk thing. I thought that was pretty interesting. So check him out. Check out his take on the Charlie Kirk scenario. But what else? Talk to me, guys. What else should I ask Yende? What you guys have any fresh and fit questions? I don't know. I don't know what you guys want to know. I'm someone on the inside of this type of stuff, right? I'm working. I work, the politics between content creators and this person, that person. A lot of us know each other. A lot of us talk to each other. A lot of us don't even get along, to keep it real true. But maybe you have a question that I haven't thought of, just because I probably don't care. I don't really care that much about what happens at Fresh and Fit. It's not necessarily. Hold on one second. I got a text. Damn. Yeah. Okay. Yende's trying to get him in there, boss. He just hit me up. Okay, so he should have the link. He should be here soon. It's not something I think about a lot. For everybody, for everyone that is curious about what the behind the scenes is like. The reason why I personally don't care about that kind of stuff is because, to me, whether you're a content creator or a celebrity, you're just a person, bro. I don't worship these people. As a personal trainer, who's someone like me, I had to train. I've trained a lot of rich people in my lives, and they're just regular people. The people that you think are so cool because they can live in these nice houses or drive these nice cars, a lot of them are just regular people. They're Brett Stings too. You know what I'm saying? They got BO too. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just regular people. I don't put them on a pedestal like most people do. Like, a lot of these girls will sell their left foot just to be in a room of someone that makes six figures, not just a year, but a month, right? And I know several YouTubers who make $100,000 a month or more. Several, right? So, a lot of people think to themselves, "Oh my God, that's a lot of money," and it is a lot of money. But I won't lie. Like, after a while, what is it really? It's probably just a number to you, Heck, I'm not saying I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I definitely could use 100K. I ain't gonna hold you. But I know after a while it just becomes normal. It's what did Jim Carrey say? He said, "I hope everyone becomes rich and famous so they can see it's not what it's all cracked up to be." It's no different than getting bad bitches. Like I remember the first time I've ever slept with a beautiful girl. To me, I was just like, I was so excited for the moment. I think my anticipation was so high and my expectation was so high that it killed the actual moment. I'm just sitting there like, this is all it is. Like, and that's what it is when you want to get money, wealth, fame. Like, even with this channel, when I want to get like 1 million views, I was like, oh my God, I want to get 1 million views. After I got 1 million views, I'm like, all right, now what? That's 2 million, then 3 million. And it just goes on. And then like I remember I thought to myself, like, oh, it'd be so cool to get 10,000 subscribers. And then I got 10,000. And now I was like, it'd be cool to get 15, and I got 15, and I'm on my way to 20. And it's just numbers. It's just vanity. Emperor Caesar. I see you in the comments a lot, Emperor Caesar. He says men contribute to the dating trash is because men reward women for their bad behavior, subscribing to OF, complimenting women on social media, going after BBL women instead of chastity women. I like that phrase, chastity women. Yeah, I think yeah, I do think I feel like simping's a problem, but and I think Yende is going to suggest the same thing too. But the only difference I believe is that there's no way to eradicate simping. Like just because we could identify a problem doesn't mean we could identify a solution. Like how do you get rid of simping when just going to be people in general who are less successful with women, therefore they're going to have to rely on brown nosing and begging and tricking, like giving money to get girls. They're just gonna naturally gonna be people like that. All right, so look, I don't want to waste no time. I'm gonna bring my brother Ayinde up here. Please show my brother some respect. Good dude, bro. Good dude. I definitely want to help to see if we could really help build up his channel. His channel is something that should take off, in my personal opinion. Because this dude got a lot of wisdom, right? He got a lot of wisdom. And so without further ado, my brother Ayinde. What's up, my guy?
What's up, my dude?
Hey man, just warming up the spot for you, bro.
Peace to my brother Shape, man. What's going on with you, brother?
Bro, man, a lot of shit going on this week, bro. I'm excited for the fight on Saturday. Um,
Okay.
might put some money on that. You know what I'm saying? See if I can win a little quick money on my boy Crawford. Um, I was just looking at my timeline, and I don't know. Have you seen a lot of the Brittany Renner shit?
I haven't seen anything about Brittany Renner actually.
Okay. So I wanted to see if you might want to talk about that. I guess let's give you. So I
I
kind of
mean, fill me in. Fill me in. You can fill me in.
yeah. Well, I know your time is valuable, so I want to kind of make sure I streamline this real quick. Uh, and for the replay, because not just about now, but so people who watch this later on after today, after the live stream, kind of help us. Because I try to give you an introduction, but so give me a better introduction into who is Yende. You know what I'm saying? How did he come about this opportunity that he's trying to capitalize on now?
Well, I never really was thinking to be a YouTuber, man. I had a cousin. I mean, I still got the same cousin, but we don't live together anymore. When I first moved to Florida, I lived with one of my older cousins, and he just kept on saying to me, "Dude, you got to get a YouTube channel." And this is back in 2006.
Mm,
Um, So I just was like, nah, I'm not interested in YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And he was
right,
like, nah, because I didn't know what YouTube was. You know
right,
what I
right.
mean? I wasn't really into social media. Even my Instagram, I was never gonna make an Instagram, bro.
Mm,
One of my boys just took my phone from me, made it. Like 10 minutes later, he was like, "Here, you got Instagram now." So,
mm,
yeah, so I kind of avoided it in the sense that I wasn't thinking about it. But he just said, "All this game you got." All these stories. It's too valuable, too entertaining. He said these are classics. You got to put that on YouTube. So I mean, you can imagine that long ago, YouTube was not looked at as something like to do
A
for
thing. Yeah.
income or anything like that.
Nah.
It was just a free platform. People could share stuff. So no interest in it really. You know what I mean? But over the years, training in the gym, uh, making art, painting, I always had my headphones in and just be listening to a lot of stuff that was in the space, like, I want to say 10, 8 years ago. And still ain't dawned on me. You know what I'm saying? I just was consuming the content. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Consuming
Right.
it. And, not to sound arrogant, but I wasn't necessarily really learning much. I was just like affirming, like, yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, I know that. I've experienced that. Or I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? There's some nuance to that. So it was entertaining more than anything.
Right.
But at that point, I couldn't deny that I got as much or more game than majority of the other people. You know what I'm saying? Um, sharing. So a few years ago, was like 2020, 2019, 2020. I decided, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try to get in there. I'll meet some people, shake some hands. So I had this plan to cut the line. You know what I mean? I'm in Miami. So at the time, Fresh and Fit was kind of like forming together. Myron and Walter were kind of like being introduced, basically. And I was listening to a lot of the content on the Seven. That's when Kevin Samuels kind of had a backseat on that. So I was listening to a lot of that stuff. Coach Greg Adams was coming up at the time. So there's a lot of good creators. You know what I mean?
Right.
I say, yeah, now's the time I want to get in there because I got some ideas. And yeah, man, it turns out YouTube's a lot harder than it looks. So yeah, so I just keep rallying back, keep learning, keep reapplying. Finally, I got a studio. I'm in the studio now. My light is tripping out. I don't know what it's doing. I'm not a tech guy, but
It's
I'll have
cool. I
somebody.
mean, it keeps it interesting, you know.
Yeah, I have somebody take a look at it. But I'm in the process of building out the studio, so it's been like 4 months now. Still grinding.
Okay.
Uh, so that's coming soon.
So,
I'm
so
excited
I
for
think
it.
people want to know how, because I told them that you helped do a lot of recruiting for Fresh and Fit. That was kind of like your big break, right? Like where you kind of
Um,
really started working on something that started to take off.
well, that's what really put me around certain people.
Right. That's what I
You know
mean.
what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I kind of got to see what it is and up close. Um, so I guess it's probably reverse. Most people, they probably start their YouTube channel, um, find somewhat of some type of growth and success, and eventually they kind of get around certain other YouTubers.
Right.
So
Right.
for me, it was the other way around. I was getting around these content creators before I had a YouTube channel on my own.
Right. Right.
So I just was like, yeah, man, yeah, I really should be doing this because we're in the loop. You know what I'm saying? We're in the loop. I'm at the table. I'm in the conversation. It's like, yeah, I should definitely be pursuing that. And then we already know, like, coming out of COVID is when I think a lot of people realize just content creating in general is viable. That's probably when a lot of the girls realized that OF was was viable. But I think a lot of
Well,
people
how'd you
probably
get to the
realize.
point where now you're being a guy that's bringing it? Because I remember we
Mm.
talked off stream, and you were telling me that people came to you to kind of start bringing the girls in, and people. Let's keep
Yeah.
it real. People love Fresh and Fit for mainly that, right? I don't know if they really care about Walter and Myron so much. You know what I'm saying? I think they care about
Mm.
all the beautiful women that's on the panel, and you could write super chats to them and try to DM them on their Instagram. So walk
I
me
would
through like what led
I
to
would say
you being in
this.
that position.
I would say this. I think any story that's being told, any form of entertainment, to get people invested, there has to be stakes. You get what I'm trying to say? They
Okay.
kind of they kind of got to be good guy, bad guy, left versus right, whatever the case may be. The duality of it, right? The Hegelian dialect, basically, right? So we see that in politics, we see that in sports, pro wrestling, whatever. Um, so I think just the idea of having guys and girls in the same room having these conversations, it was bound to take off. You know what I mean? And just the way history played out, Fresh and Fit executed that first to that extent. I'm sure somebody was a guy and was talking to girls, and it was on a video. You know what I mean? But they the first to kind of do it with the panel and all the girls with that. So a lot of people went and followed suit because just the idea itself is lightning in a jar. So I think kind of having a reputation as the guy that was kind of bringing the girls, because I think that was the feat when everybody was scratching their head with like, how do you get the girls to come on? How do you get so many? How do you get the girls to consistent? How do you?
Because they're looking at it
Um,
like there's no way Fresh and Myron's doing it. That's
I
why they're
think,
kind of lost. Like,
I'm,
how did these dudes who
yeah, you
people
know what?
don't think got game like that?
I think it would have been a curious thing regardless, no matter who's doing it. I think whether you're talking about just pearly things or whatever podcast, I think everybody's kind of like, well, how, why? You know what I mean? Not only how you keep getting these girls, but why? Why these girls keep coming on? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that was the phenomenon. I think a lot of people were struggling with it, and they were like, yo, that guy kind of figured it out. So I was doing it at the best. You know what I'm saying, at the highest capacity at that time. And yeah, I still help out from time to time now. You know what I'm saying? They don't need me. They sure as hell figured out how to replace me. And that's the beautiful thing. Um, but the conversation I think still needs to be had. It just needs to be had differently now. I think we've had a good amount of that has created a genre, so to speak. Obviously, there's a lot of guys who gravitate towards it, for better or for worse, whatever the case may be. But I still think there's room now. I think now more than ever, there's kind of room. You get what I'm saying? To do that in a different way, to have those conversations with a different dynamic. So that's what we're looking to do now. Is kind of get into that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I know you having good experiences with women. Um, I've by and large have really amazing experiences with women. So I think there needs to be a counterbalance with the message. I think a lot of young guys is just straight up giving up, and they really don't see any positivity or any value in interacting with chicks, which I think is horrible, bro. I think that's a hate crime. You know what I mean? It's like, where you gonna go that's gonna be dope without chicks? I mean, if you get breath, if I gave you 100K right now and said, listen, I'm gonna give you this 100K, but you gotta blow it in less than 30 days. I mean, how many places would you really go that don't have, you know what I'm saying, attractive women?
How many places you want to go that don't have women? You can't. You know,
That's what I'm
you got
saying.
money, yeah. Like the you want
No, I
you want
mean, no,
women
no, no,
around you.
no. Even if you don't have money, what I'm saying is, chicks are fun, bro. So this narrative that we got out here, that's the majority, that's the loudest right now. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy, disingenuous, man.
So let me walk you through it because I think so.
Hmm.
We're trying to figure out why the dating market is trash. You kind
Hmm.
of introduce your background. I think you were kind of being humble about it. It's cool. You really
Hmm.
staffed. You really brought the girls through, helped make the
Hmm.
Fresh and Fit show what we know it to be. And cool.
Hmm.
I'm glad you're humble about it. But you know, credit is where credit's due. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
If you
absolutely.
are one of the main, beacons of what got that
Hmm.
show to what it is, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Behind the
Hmm.
scenes is just as important as in front of the scenes. Let's keep it real.
No, I mean, and that's part of what I learned, bro. It's like, that's a hell of a production. You know what I mean? What they got going on is probably at the highest level too. At that, I think people really, really would appreciate just content creators in general if they knew what really went into it, besides just say the hours. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the strategy, the know-how, the creativity, you know what I mean, the ingenuity. I mean, let's face it, like how much shit has these guys gotten themselves into? And I think what's more interesting is how they get themselves out. You get what I'm trying to say? How they
Right,
survive it.
right.
Um, so I think there's something to be said about that. A lot of people come and go. Just lasting in the game. Again, I think people don't understand how difficult it is, how competitive it is, and so on and so forth, right? Especially when you have a message that most people don't want to hear, or most people aren't supportive of. So I think in the struggle, trying to figure out what I want to do with my content, I think I've learned to appreciate other people, and the content they make a hell of a lot more, whether I agree with it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, my style of content is, I understand what the average man is going through, and even though I feel like I've had an above average experience with women, and my audience hates when I say this. Like, oh, you're not special. You're not this. You're not that. And I tell them all the time, hey, bro, look, I I don't care what you think about me. You're a man. You know what I'm saying? What's important is about, yo, bro, you froze? Did you did you freeze? Oh man, he's frozen. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna take him down. Damn, my boy froze. Yeah, okay. Bro, you were frozen.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
I
man.
thought
I
it
had
was
to
you actually holding a position. I thought, like, why are you just holding, bro? Move.
He's like, yeah, why
Like,
you doing the Spider
I
Man?
thought you started doing the mannequin challenge. I'm like, why are you doing the man?
No,
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 but
no,
what
no.
I was saying before you froze, I was saying that my take, my offering for the manosphere is this authenticity of someone who's been the place a lot of these guys trying to go. A lot of these dudes are trying to figure out, how do I get with beautiful women? What do I need to do? What's blah blah, like the whole dating thing, because we're in a scenario where 80% of the women want, well, 100% of the women want the top 20% of men, right? 100% of women want the top 20% of men. And then so the bottom 80% of men are trying to figure out, what do I do? Now, I can't fully relate to them, but I can relate to them to the point where I remember when I was younger and I had huge droughts where I'd go years between girls. So I meet one girl here and then, like, maybe a month, a year and a half, you know what I'm saying, of just a drought of no girls. But this is pre-social media. This is when you actually had to meet people in person.
Right.
Nowadays, you always see all these girls and you could message them and you still can't get no access to them. So we're in an interesting time where we have more access than we've ever had for people, for girls, for dates, for, with dating apps. Like a lot of these things, we grew up prior to a lot of this shit, yeah.
Um, I mean, I was
So
thinking about that, and yeah, I guess some things you could say are generally better, or some things are generally worse. But I think for the most part, what you got to do is you got to use a perspective, whereas you're seeing some advantages, right? So I think growing up in the 90s and doing most of the fornicating in the late 90s and the early 2000s and whatnot, there's an advantage to that. You get what I mean? But I also think what the young guys have access to today, there's an advantage to that also. And then equally so, both have a disadvantage. You get what I'm saying? So we could say that dating overall is worse today, but then again, I still think that's all relative and subjective. You get what I'm trying to say? And if we keep comparing it to the past, we're going to take a L regardless. Because think about it. In your day or in my day, did you compare the shit to 15 years previous, 20 years previous?
no, but I'm just talking.
You adapted. You just adapted.
The reason why I'm mentioning it is because it's relatability. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't fully relate to this social media environment because this is post high school for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I like, so it's different. Like nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Like you're using social media now, like your profile, like who you are, like that's your own personal website. That's like your Instagram, your TikTok. This is like your own personal website, and a girl will reject you based on that. Cheating now has a lot to do with social media. If you like a girl's pictures, like all these things that didn't exist. So we're like before this. I want to address this one comment. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
no Love says T Law. The difference is before the internet and social media, the Sims had a much smaller circle of women to work with. Nowadays, they can simp for tricks way up in Antarctica. Absolutely, and this is what I'm saying. You have more access. You have access. They have a weird situation where they have access to girls all over the world. So now the dating market is global, right? You can meet a girl in a different state on Instagram, on TikTok, and try to start a relationship with her through messages, through DMs and stuff like that. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure people actually do that. I'm sure people are bagging girls in the DMs. But here's a problem though. Because that exists now, there's a lot more competition. So if it was tough back in the day for us,
Mm-hmm.
it's tougher now because now you look like a bigger loser because the amount of people you would compete with is just a wide range of people. You know what I'm saying? So
I
I
mean, I'd argue it either way. I mean, now I'm in the habit of playing devil's advocate. I think there needs to be more momentum uh, towards another narrative. You know what I mean? I've always believed that everything is perspective anyway. But I think now more than ever, guys gotta start learning how to look at the game in the way that's most advantageous for them at this moment.
all right. So
You
let's
understand?
let's, let's dive right into that. So an average dude,
Yeah.
I'm gonna set it up for you, and you can just
Mm-hmm.
knock it out. Average dude,
Mm-hmm.
out of shape, didn't probably had one body, like one
Mm-hmm.
snatched one girl. She was out of shape too. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't have that much game.
Mm-hmm.
He's 19, 20 years old, trying
Mm-hmm.
to figure out how he could, you know, start getting to some of the beautiful women he fantasizes about or
Right.
watches in corn and shit.
Right. All right. So let me tell you again, just like this same cousin had told me, he would tell me, he would tell me, man, you could get money doing anything, right? Or you could find women being good at anything, or no matter what the fuck the fetish is, there's somebody out there that's into that, right? So that was his thought process. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
There's always an angle, right? You gotta play the angle that's gonna work for you. So he was also saying that, look, it's a skill, right? It's a skill. There's skill and there's talent. Talent you're born with, but talent ain't shit if you don't apply. You know what I'm saying? Skill. You don't develop skill. So whatever you're good at, because I guarantee you, the majority of these dudes, if they're worth the oxygen in their lungs, they're good at something. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And whatever you're good at, you're gonna get what comes along with being good at that. The more you learn how to leverage it, is the more you can get, and that's the story over there. So dealing with women is just another skill set. The question is, how important is it? How important is it to you? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that women are that important, but at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you they're not.
Well, a
That's
lot of them
that,
is
that's up
confidence.
to, that's up to the individual. But my point is that what I'm seeing is like the same thing on both sides, the men and the women, but it's acted out differently, and they both have this lack of awareness, as if only the other side is doing this. I'll give you an example. So we're throwing the word delusional around all the time, right? Oh, these women are delusional. These delusional women, bro. I
Okay.
100% agree. These women are delusional, but I think the guys are just as delusional, right? That's number one. And number two, they're creating each other's delusion, right? The difference is, for the guys, I think it's willing. It's a willing ignorance. Whereas the women, they fundamentally lack the ability to think about things solely logically. There's women that can apply more logic than others, but for the most part, 100% logically, call me a misogynist. I don't think 99.9% of women are capable of doing that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like 100% just looking at something with zero emotion. They can't, because that's how they see and interact with the world. And there's nothing wrong with that. You get what I'm saying? That's their thing. Our thing is the logic. So we already got to carry a higher level of responsibility. So let me explain what I'm saying with this delusion. There's a lot of guys that are like holding women to male standards, right? That's already an L. That's delusional within itself. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Then there's guys saying, well, I did this and I did this. Why doesn't she like me? Well, let's just turn the table, because we turn the table on the women, and it's pretty helpful when we turn the table and kind of let them sit in a different seat and see it equally but opposite. Usually that works with them. So let's do it with the dudes, right? Let's turn the table. You're admitting that this broad is not doing whatever it is that you wanted to do, right? That's basically what you're saying. It's, why won't she? Whatever, right? Okay, that means she's not doing it, right? Okay, so if she's not doing much of nothing, why do you like this broad? You see what I'm saying? You like her because she's physically attractive. Knock it off. That's as shallow as it is. Again, nothing wrong with it. That's what it is, right? The point is that why are you scratching your head acting confused as to why this chick does it X, Y, and Z, when you only want her to X, Y, and Z because you're attracted to her? Which means your X, Y, and Z doesn't mean shit if she's not attracted to you.
Mhm.
Women are only expensive, my dude, when they don't like you. If they like you, it's a whole different set of rules. We know that. We've said it over and over again. Okay, if we said it, why are we not applying it to our own fucking logic? So there's a lot of guys that's bitching, whining, and complaining that women aren't this and that in for them, knowing damn well she's this and that and some more in for somebody else. We know that already. So my point is, you should not even be in that, you know what I'm saying, space right now, until you do what you got to do to come to the party already attractive. Once you're attractive, then all the other stuff matters to these broads. So when they say, I just want a guy that's nice, I want a guy that treats me well, and guys sit there and act like, oh my God, you're such a liar. You're lying because I do that. And the last guy didn't do that. And he's been beating the coochie up and I'm not getting none. So you're a liar. No, bro, she's not a liar. She's just a woman. She communicates differently. So the part that she's leaving out, because she's assuming that you know, because you're supposed to be using your fucking man logic, right? You're supposed to be using your experience with women. So you should already know the part that she's not mentioning. And that's that she would like the guys that she's already attracted to, that have already been taking her to Pound Town, to be nice to her.
So I guess the bigger question, and because
Mhm.
this is the hardest part, a lot of men don't know how to be attractive. I'm agreeing with you
That's a
because
lie. That is an absolute lie. That's a lie.
well, well,
That's a-
they're failing at it. Maybe they don't.
there you
Maybe,
go.
right,
Uh-huh.
they're failing at it. They're not putting
Hmm.
their energy towards it. A lot of men are trying
Hmm.
to spend their money out of working on making themselves more
Hmm.
attractive. Instead, they're trying to buy time, right? And they're trying to
Hmm.
buy access. And this is where all the tricking is where it is now. And to the point now where like dating's so expensive now because since people aren't making themselves attractive, they have to
Hmm.
make the date more attractive. So they got to offer
Hmm.
more expensive dates, right? To
I'm glad
entice
you put.
people to hang out with them.
I'm glad you put that in there. I'm glad you
Yeah,
put that in there.
yeah.
So we have to ask ourselves which balance comes first. What comes first, right? Do we learn how to drive first, or do we get a permanent license and buy a car first? In what order do we do things? Right? So we understand in other areas of life that we need to do things in a specific order. So if we're acting differently with chicks, then in all due respect, we're being willingly ignorant because we want to rush, we want to indulge ourselves, we want to skip the line, we want it and we want it now. And I think that's the main problem is that a lot of guys are probably willing to wait in most areas of life, but with chicks, somehow they just want to get on the field. And then they're wondering why they're getting, you know what I'm saying, slammed into the pavement and they're not scoring no touchdowns. Well, we already know you wasn't ready. You wasn't ready. You know what I mean? There's a lot that comes before that. And I think
I
what
want to say this
happens,
though because I
uh,
want to make sure that with the time I get the most out of your answers, and
mm,
I appreciate you trying to go in detail, but I
mm,
want you to keep it short to the point because I
mm,
want them to have takeaways. Right? They're
yeah,
not
yeah,
going to get
okay.
a chance to fucking sit with you and build with
Mm,
you, and
mm.
your time is valuable. But so far, what I taken away from it, from what you said, is dating is trash because men are unattractive. Do you agree with that?
I mean, that's the shortest way. If you want to, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
I'm
shortest
obviously like the
abbreviation.
short answer, right?
Right, right.
So then
Mm,
the question is, what? Because you're a bodybuilder, bro,
mm,
right? So we know women find you attractive, right? Like you go
mm.
to the gym, you work out. Very very small portion of men work out.
It dominates in a demograph, right? Not the overall, but you don't want the overall. As a guy, you just want to focus on demographics. You want to focus on niche markets. You get what I'm saying? That way you can
For
maximize
women.
for everything. But we're talking about women at this moment.
So what do you mean? So because what I'm hearing from
Mm.
what you're saying is, if you go for a less attractive girl, you're going to be successful. That type of thing.
No, 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 no. I was
Okay,
saying
okay.
that.
I
I
don't think
was
that's
saying
true. Even the
right. I
ugly
was
girls want top
right.
dudes.
I was saying so the extreme of fitness isn't necessary. Just like the extreme of getting
Okay,
rich
okay,
isn't necessary.
okay.
Just like the extreme of being love a man, romantic, know what to say isn't having a healthy balance of all areas is the best bet. And a lot of these dudes are so fucking lopsided. Um, and let's be real, if they had a chick or you wanted a chick, and if it was weird science, you got to build your own girl. You would build her in a way that you wouldn't really be too interested in other women. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, you probably want to smash something else, but you would build a perfect girl that you felt covered. You know what I'm saying? Numerous areas well, right?
Right. So
Would
there's
you agree with
multiple
that?
things as well.
Right, you would agree with that.
704 Roach TV and Rat TV says men
Mm.
have always been unattractive. You can have muscles and so cheap with a skinny dude who can't do 12 push-ups.
Yeah, but
The
see,
weird thing about that is
mm,
some people think that's a dual. I heard this before. People, and this is a psychology term, right? A
mm,
dual mating strategy. She'll get
right.
one thing from one guy, and then she'll date another guy to get another thing. You scratch one itch, another guy scratches
Mm.
another itch.
See,
Um,
look, see, this is where I was going. This is where I was going next. So I mean, all he's doing is alluding to it. But anyhow, I was getting there anyway. So that's a very doom and gloom way of looking at it. It's a very definitive way of looking at it, and it's not accurate. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's not accurate. I
so,
think
but
it's a
what?
lot
It's not
easier.
accurate that girls you could date a fit guy, she'll date a fit guy, but cheat with a skinny guy. That's definitely accurate.
Not
That
the way
part.
that not that way he phrased it, not the way that he inferred or what he's insinuating. Absolutely not. He's insinuating that no matter what you do,
Okay, okay.
this
Got
is
it, got
going
it,
to
got
be
it,
the result, and
got
that's
it, got it, got it.
that's bullshit.
I agree
Um,
with that. I agree with that.
right, and there's a million different ways to pull that thread. Okay, you can focus on the well. If you pick a certain caliber of woman, you can focus on that angle. or we can go more where I'm going, whereas where I was going, which is you gotta kind of want to be a jack of all trades. The work is never done, so to speak. When you're talking about as a person, you get what I'm trying to say? The work is never done. If you're talking about one specific thing, like I'm going to school to be a this, at some point in time, I guess you can finish that. But if you're
Mm,
talking about just you being able to be competitive in the world, in the free
gotta keep it
market, which is
organized.
humanity, the work is never goddamn done.
Right.
I don't care if you're learning another language, great. I don't care if you're starting another side hustle, another business, great. I don't care if you're pushing your fitness to the next level, great. I don't care if you're trying to be more romantic and just get your flirt game to a whole nother level. Great. You trying to get your handyman game up so that you could just be fixing shit like it ain't nothing. Great. The point is, it never fucking ends. So what you're describing is that dude was leaving some gap open. Something was wide open, and another man was able to fill that slot far better than him, rather than just 15 to 20% better than him. If it's within that margin, the chick is not going to cheat, bro. I'm telling you right now, it's not. If you're covering all the bases roughly well, now, obviously, what I'm describing is very complicated and requires a lot of energy. So I'm
Yeah,
not suggesting
because
that. I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying if you want chicks, that comes along with it. Just like if you want a fucking dog, walking the dog and all that other stuff comes along with it. Whatever it is that you want, there's something that's gonna come along with that. You get
right.
what I'm trying to say?
I want to say shout out to Jeff St. James. He's in the chat. Shout out to Jeff. He definitely linked me and Yende. So shout out to my brother Jeff St. James blowing up. Just hit 24,000 subscribers on YouTube. Shout out to my brother. I want to address what you said. That I don't want to push back, right? But
No, push back, please do.
part of what I want to say is that I don't think women are so rational where even if you have everything they want, that
Mhm.
they won't cheat on you just because. Like I don't think women, because we have a single mom epidemic for a reason. Clearly,
Mhm.
women choose poorly, right? Like let's not pretend
Absolutely.
like women, only choose like they might want the top guys, but they might choose a guy who's a complete loser and get
You know, I
pregnant by
got a
him.
rebuttal for that, right? When you're
Huh?
done, you know I still got a rebuttal, right?
That's fine.
All right, go
so
ahead, go ahead, go
so
ahead.
but the point I'm trying to say is that you
Mhm.
said that women are not rational, right? That's one of the first claims you made. And I'm
Absolutely
agreeing with
not.
you. One of
Absolutely
the
not.
definite evidence that they're not is that they choose
Mhm.
poorly. So to his point, a guy could bring a lot to the table and a girl could still fumble him and go with a loser. That happens all the time.
All right, can I tell you how there's a nuance to that?
Go ahead.
So, in the words of Jesse P, what is his name? Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah.
In order for it to be sluts, they gotta be sluts makers, slut makers. So men can't be sluts, we're slut makers. So my point is that yes, women might choose poorly. I 100% agree. A dude might pull into, you know what I'm saying, the gas station at 4 in the morning in a bad neighborhood in a convertible with the top down, key in the ignition, run inside to pay for gas, decide to take a piss, come back, his car is gone. Poor judgment. Still required a car thief, did it not?
I agree with that.
Okay, so when these women choose poorly, it's a beautiful thing and it's a horrible thing, depending on the dude that she chooses. I've been a horrible choice many of times. Many of times it's been like, bitch, you don't even know me. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
But it's still a conscious decision on me, what I'm gonna do with that chick, where I'm gonna lead that chick, and how I'm gonna capitalize on the amount of influence I have over her. So if I could just be meeting a chick and she's already, you know what I'm saying, she's giving me too much free range. She's trusting me way too much. You understand what I'm saying?
So are you saying
It's still on the dude to say, I'm gonna make this chick better.
so are you
I'm
saying be the
Go
poor
ahead.
choice?
Sorry?
Are you saying be the poor choice? Because you kind of
No,
went down
no,
and said
no,
like,
no, 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 no. If you want to be on demon time, be the poor choice. I've been both. The point is that it's up to me whether or not I'm a poor choice. What you're describing only becomes a poor choice when the dude decides to be, you know what I mean,
so you're poor choice before you got there is what you're trying to say. Yeah.
not the best. So what she's doing is I'm trying to find what's the proper term that has no connotation. I'm not saying that her choice is good or bad. I'm saying that she's going with her feelings. So it's free. It's not calculated. It's not, wait a minute, I don't know. I don't know him yet. He got to do this first. I got to see this first. I got to meet his mama. What's his last name? She's not doing any of that. Now, what I'm saying is if this dude is an awesome guy, he's a stand-up guy, he brings the best out of her, He's ambitious. He's you know what I'm saying. He's integral. All that good stuff. She it wasn't a poor choice, but she chose it with the same flimmy that she would have chose the fuckboy Daryl with. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Fuckboy Daryl had to get her pregnant. That was on him. Plenty of women have given me that free range, and I just didn't make that mistake. So I chose to not be the poor decision, is what I'm trying to say. I choose to add value to chicks when I deal with them. I choose to leave them better than I found them. That's a choice. I could easily say, hey, I'm gonna take advantage of this, I'm gonna beat it up. And the moment she starts actually wanting something good out of me, I could break it off. So
But that's a different. I think we're arguing two
mhm,
different things. I think I agree with what you're saying. That
mhm.
ultimately onto you. But I think a lot of guys are trying to understand female nature, and so because you understand female nature, you're going a little further than the question. Like I think you understand female nature.
Some of them are. I think a lot of them are being willingly ignorant, bro. We're in a time right now where just click a couple of keys, touch a couple of touch screens, and you can learn about female nature, bro. You know what I'm saying? I
It's a
think
lot.
guys,
It's a lot harder than that. Ayinde,
nah,
bro. It's a
nah,
lot harder than
lies,
that.
lies, lies. You know why it's lies? Because ain't nobody here confused as to why guys in good shape get the attention they get. There's nobody over here confused when tall guys get the attention they get. There's nobody confused when powerful, sophisticated, high status males get the attention that they get. You know why? Because they also get it from men in a different way, but they still get that same level of awe and admiration. You get what I'm trying to say? They just get it differently. Don't act like if you met fucking Tory Lanez or Chris Brown, whoever, you wouldn't be like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Love your music, man. That's what's up. Come on, bro. You'd give the admiration. The chick, her admiration just gonna look a little bit different. It's gonna be some head in the changing room. You see what I'm trying to say? So we already know why people that have put themselves in a unique position get the type of attention and admiration they get. We fucking know that. Stop acting stupid. We also know that if guys enjoy sex and you want to keep on going back and dealing with the same chick because she's better than the other chick, then we also understand the concept that chicks are going to cling to dudes that's beating the box right. So there's too many dudes out here that's playing dumb when it's convenient for them and acting like, oh, poor me, I'm such a victim. Female nature is just so rough. Shut up, bro. If you get your body to a certain level, you're gonna have better results. You get your bank book to a certain level, you're gonna get better results. Learn how to talk to women and flirt with women and make them feel a certain emotion, you're gonna get better results, bro.
But I
Learn when
think
to bring the flowers, you know what I'm saying? When to do something sweet, when to do something romantic. Because guys will sit there and say definitive statements like this, like, oh, you bring flowers on the first day, you're automatically lame, you're a simp, blah, blah, blah. Bro, stop. Stop. Let's stop right there.
so. We will
You
get to
can
that. We will get to that. I like that. We're
uh,
gonna get to that. Let me address this one comment from Emperor Caesar. He said, "Black women have been told they are the most successful people in the world, so this false accolade have made them develop a dominant mentality, making them pick and choose weaker men. Can have two captains." There's something to that too. Like, so a lot of people making different points. The prior
mhm,
guy were trying to say that girls are not rational, right? So they choose poorly. This guy is saying that girls are more masculine, so they choose a weaker
mhm,
men because they want to lead. So that's a point too.
mhm.
So and that's what I'm trying to say. That the
They don't choose. They don't.
female,
They don't choose them. They're reduced to them because the dudes that are better balanced, they choose not to deal with it. So
right?
again, it just brings me back to guys are still in control. Guys
Well,
are
hold that
only
thought
getting
though.
ran
Hold
over
that thought.
because they're allowing it.
Hold that thought
Mhm,
though. But we just described two different types of women. We described a
mhm,
woman who's going to fumble a guy that's much better for a
mhm,
loser, and now we're talking about a girl who's reduced to the losers. That's two, and this is what happens. Like
mhm,
this is how I figured it out. Right, there's many archetypes to women. Not maybe many. Maybe there's a handful, 6, 7 different archetypes, main
mhm,
archetypes for women. Right, but most
mhm,
men have never seen or had success with the different archetypes, so a lot of this stuff, which seems normal to me and you, is like a foreign language,
mhm,
and that's why I think the reason why my channel has been having success is because I've learned to not assume that people know what it's like to get a certain caliber of girl, and I try to
mhm,
reduce myself to when I was like much younger and I had less successful women. Because let me tell you like this: from the beginning we went to school, there was dudes who naturally got girls and dudes who naturally
mhm,
didn't. And the dudes who naturally didn't were the majority. And the dudes
mhm,
who naturally got girls were the few. So
mhm.
everyone's been trying to pinpoint what did these dudes do. Now, some people are naturally more attractive. We talked about the whole attraction thing. Girls want you to be attractive. I agree with
Right.
that. Even if a girl
There's
deals
still
with a
some
loser,
agency
she's
there
gonna deal with
though.
an attractive loser. But I think, look,
Mhm.
there's some information you got at Yende that can help people, right? And
Right.
I know this because I've talked to you a lot, right? And so
Mhm.
when we blame that dating is trash because of men, we got to extrapolate exactly what that means so the
Mhm.
masses could digest it. And something so but we got to master the brevity in it.
Mhm.
It has to be
All right.
simple. You know what I'm saying?
That there's levels to that. Are there guys who are just naturally good with women? Absolutely. But it goes back to what I said earlier. There's talent and there's skill. Talent is only going to bring you but so far because talent didn't require any work,
On your
any,
own.
any time, dedication, discipline, practice. That's where the skill comes from. When you put the two together, you're unstoppable. But somebody with some ambition, tenacity, you know what I'm saying, that's focused and dedicated can beat somebody with talent. They can outwork them, right? So when you're saying that there's guys that were naturally good with women, there's a lot of those guys that those end up being the Tyrones, bro. Those end up being the Pookies. Those end up being the guys that they dead end with it because they don't have any versatility. They don't have any flexibility. They just running the same one trick pony they did in high school and maybe college. They're relying on the same surface level bullshit. So what happens is they only gonna go but so far with the chick. Can they smash? Yeah, they can smash. That's about it. You see what I'm trying to say? So what I'm saying is that no matter where your starting point is, you got to keep trucking towards the destination. The destination should be the same for pretty much everybody, and that should be as good as you can be all around. None of these things you need to do them for women. Women should just be the reward. They should just be something that helps to motivate you, like a fucking energy drink here and there. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do the workout for the energy drink, but it helps you get through. You see what I'm saying? So they should be put there. You should prize yourself with them. But in order to do that, you have to have the ultimate influence. So that's why I'm saying, in my mind, it's always going to be the guy's fault because we have the advantage, bro. We have the advantage. We're the ones that's flexible. We're the ones that can adapt to almost any conditions. At the end of the day, this shit's competitive, right? You watch sports more than I am. Are you really going to compare modern players to players from 30 years ago? What would be the point? The point is that in your time frame, you got to compete against whoever the fuck is in the game at that time. I don't care if Instagram exists or it doesn't. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because in certain areas, my performance will be less because of the current state of things, but in other areas, my performance will be higher.
Right.
So
I
I'm
want to talk about see you're someone, you have a very abstract mind, and you could see the
mm,
connection between a lot of these abstract ideas, but it's hard for I can grasp them. I'm keeping up with you. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? But I'm gonna just assume that a lot of people can't keep up with you because there's so much that's fundamental that they're missing. You talk about fundamental things, but then you go
mm.
into this very deep abstract about it. Like I'm
Well, get it
following.
done. Get it done. Get it at the end of the day.
So
Get it done, and then
look at what
everything
this
else
guy said
falls
here,
in.
right? He said
Mm.
smashing is the goal. If they can smash, then why change?
That's the problem, though. Smashing shouldn't be the goal.
But hold on.
That's adolescent.
Hold on.
What's the age? What's the
I'm
age
agree with
frame?
you, right?
What's
I'm
the
agree
age
with you,
frame? No, what's
bro.
the age frame? At a certain age frame, smashing should be the goal because it's part of the practice. It's part of the development. There's dudes that are grown as fuck, and smashing is still the goal. That's pathetic, bro. Smashing should be a
But see,
tool.
even though you call it pathetic, you have to
Mm.
see. You got to
But
empathy is what
respectfully, but
I'm gonna keep it real with
respectfully.
you, right? In the
Mm,
manosphere, what we need is empathy. What we don't,
mm.
I think the worst thing that we have in the manosphere is that too many people are looking at people who suck with women like, bro, get over it. And I'm not saying we got to hold their hands. I'm agreeing with you. They're
I'm not
men,
saying somebody that sucks with women. I know guys that are phenomenal with women, and smashing is still the goal.
right?
they're
But no,
wasting they're wasting their life smashing. I used to
but
want to smash all the time.
what I'm trying to say is that a lot of these people, until they
Mm.
attain that level of, all right, I've had enough of this, I exhausted this, that desire is going to be
That's
there.
not true. That's not true. We make our own goals, bro. We decide what our goals are. We choose. We
Why
choose
did
what it
you?
is.
Okay, I'm gonna put it
Huh?
on you. Why did you
Huh?
stop giving a crap about pussy, yo? Why did
It,
that? Why did you stop?
it
I'm gonna tell
it's
you why I
it
stopped. You tell me why you
it
stopped first.
it's not that I stopped. There was times where I was celibate for a period of time. Um,
And
and
how?
it
What made you? What led you to that point?
had very little to do with women, to be honest with you. It's just like I had left the nightclub setting. I picked up the habit of smoking there, so I quit that immediately. As soon as I left that setting, I was like, yeah, I'm not smoking anymore. It was instant. And then shortly after, I started competing. I started bodybuilding competitively. So I stopped the drinking. I had no problem with the smoking. Well, actually, I had more problem with the smoking than anything else, but it wasn't a big deal. And I had absolutely zero issues with drinking. But I gave it up because, what I'm saying, I was focusing on bodybuilding and it was counterproductive, right? So after that became a thing, I never really went back to drinking. I would just do it when it was super, super social. If I'm with a baddie and she want to have a drink, and I would let her know too, like, hey, I normally don't drink, but you know what, for you, girl, for you know what I'm saying? And then after that, I was like, damn, what's left to give up? What other vice can I give up? If I'm not smoking cigarettes, I'm not smoking weed, I'm not drinking alcohol. And I was like, oh snap, I know what, I could give up sex. I didn't expect it to be as beneficial as it was. I had no idea. You know what I mean? It
So
was.
semen retention.
I don't really know about all. Like I'm not thinking about it in that
Oh, okay.
aspect.
So,
I'm thinking
but is
about it
that what you were
time.
doing? We're talking about no gooning, none of that stuff.
Nah,
That's
I
a
don't do
new
that.
word
No,
I
I
got
never
for
did
black
that. I
people.
never did that. So for me, it wasn't
Okay.
about. Yeah, for me, it
So
wasn't about retention or whatever you're talking about. I don't masturbate. For me, it was just not having sex because it was something to give up. But then after I had already did it, I realized how much I was actually giving up and how much I was getting back from that, right? So I realized, wow, I'm saving a hell of a lot of time. You don't realize how time consuming women are until you cut the sex out of it. Because a lot of the chicks, they'll fall off from you. That's what I learned. When you cut the sex out of it, a lot of chicks is like, all right, if you was beating it right. If you was beating it right, a lot of chicks are like, oh, well, yeah, ain't nothing over here. Ain't nothing to see over here anymore if you ain't gonna do that.
But so, but
Um,
but so abundance is the answer to where you got to the point where you could say no to this stuff because you've had it in an
it,
unspecifiable amounts.
I wouldn't say abundance. I would say
You didn't quit girls before you were good with girls. You quit girls after
oh
you're
no,
good with girls.
absolutely not. Yeah, I would never. That's stupid.
But
Um,
okay, hold it right there.
mm,
You're telling dudes to quit prioritizing pussy.
no, no, no. I
But the
said,
problem
see,
with
see, no,
that,
no. We gotta be important with what we're saying. What I said was, making beating the the goal is pathetic, bro. There's a lot more to women than just having
so are
sex with.
men pathetic
Look,
starting off?
but hold on. I want to clear. I want to clear. I want to make sure we're clear on
Okay,
this because people say, "Oh
okay.
my God, what kind of simp shit is he saying? This is lame. He's pandering to the women. Knock it off." There's no Derek Jackson over here. I'm being practical here, right? Pragmatic. So you really think that women are just here to engage with sex with them, bro? That's why they're so far gone now. Is that as men, as guys, we've put too much on that. We put too much value on that when that should just be a given. That's a given. That's granted. Because think about it, we are smashing them too, right? Well, if you're doing it properly, you're supposed to be given an experience when you're hooking up with a chick, right? She should enjoy it more than you. I'm just saying, guys. I'm being real here. The way our bodies are designed, if women aren't enjoying the sex more, you're failing, like dramatically. For us, orgasms are just pretty much right here, but for women, there's a way more range, and for women, sex is bonding. You get what I'm trying to say? For us, it's just a release, bro.
So why should it
Um,
not be a goal? Why is it pathetic if men are
what I'm
chasing?
saying, what I'm saying is that should already be a given. If you're dealing with the chick, that should already be like at the least. Yeah, the sex should be great. It should be phenomenal. But what I'm saying is that shouldn't be the biggest takeaway. Because if it is, then you're wasting your time. Let's be honest, bro. It takes
So
about
what should
what,
they
20
want instead?
minutes? Huh?
What should they want instead?
Well, first of all the things that you want for yourself, any chick that you're interacting with should be contributing to that. I'm telling you, I guess what I'm saying might sounds crazy to some people because they can't relate, but I'm giving advice you should try. If it don't work for you, then okay, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, right? But what I'm saying is, if you interacting with people in general, they should be, somewhat helpful to whatever your goals are. You get what I'm trying to say? You shouldn't be wasting time with people who aren't helping you on your path, on your purpose, one way or another, right? So women, as time consuming as they are, and as much emotions that's gonna be involved one way or another, because they're gonna have the emotions. If you're not having emotions for them, cool, that's one thing. That's fine, whatever. The point is, if they keep interacting with you and they keep having sex with you, they're gonna have some type of level of feelings and emotions, right? If this chick doesn't have an understanding that I need to channel that energy into something that will be helpful and productive, useful and valuable to him, because that's why he's exchanging his time with me. So there's a lot of dudes that's giving women their most valuable asset, especially younger guys. If you're younger, your money is not the most important thing you have, bro. I promise you. Your time is. Because think about it. You could be spending your time making money, or you could be spending your time building a company, a business, an empire that's going to make you far more money in the future. You see what I'm trying to say? But it was the same
But
time that
I
you
think you're,
used.
bro. I'm gonna keep it real, and look, and I'm
Mm,
just look, and maybe if you read some of the comments, you can see what I'm saying. He says,
mm.
name all the shit you get out of women on a regular, bro. Save me the headache. What they offering that you they're
Bro,
offering
again,
you
again,
except.
again,
Hold
again,
on.
again, again, this kind of talk
Before you
is
even say,
depressing
let me try to
because
clarify what.
he should be. I'm literally telling him that he should be setting that tone. He should be setting his price. If I go in a Chinese store and I start picking up items, I don't determine the price. They do. They tell me how much that shit costs, and I can say I'm not paying that for this. I can say, oh wow, that's a deal. So as a guy, how are you gonna sit here and complain about what valuable women bring when you're not the one setting the standard? Anytime I'm dealing with a chick after a certain age, I figured out the way women operate is what value are you giving me? That's the way women operate. And our time is more valuable than theirs. Make it make sense. But they understand that part. They get on code. So even when they're dealing with a dude that looks good, and you got dudes whining and saying, oh, if the guy looks good, if he's a Chad, he doesn't have to pay. And he follows different rules. She breaks rules for him and makes rules for the other guys. Okay, but he's providing something. He's giving her the experience of fucking with a dude that she sees as a Chad. So it's not he's not interacting with her for free. He's paying the cost it takes for him to get through. Sometimes I book a room with money on my credit card. Sometimes I book it with the fucking points that I accumulated. He accumulated points. So he's booking
So
the pussy with points. So what I'm saying is the same way that she makes sure that she's getting some form of payment to fuck with you, whether she values your attention that much, whether she values your advice that much, whether she values your dick that much, whether she values your money that much, she's not interacting with you for nothing at all. So if you as a dude are interacting with a woman for nothing, for the possibility of sex, or for sex, that's all up to you. If you decide to say, hey, listen, I'm on my path, I'm focusing on X, Y, and Z, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, this is where my priority is, and I would love to kick it with you, shorty. Damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? Can you help me with this? What can you do that's
but
useful to
see,
me?
think about this, bro. A lot of
Uh-huh.
them, they don't think they could get a girl to help them. First of all, I don't even think that's what they even want. They can get their friends to help them with the little things they're trying to do, whether it's build a
That's
career,
not
get
what I'm saying. I'm not talking about need. I'm talking about justifying whatever time, energy, money, and resources you're spending on said shit. So if
you
you're gonna
mean
spend those
you're
resources to
charging
get
the
good
girl
with
for your
women,
time.
if you're gonna spend those resources to get good with women, cool. I'm in agreement with that. Got to learn to do what you're doing. But there's only but so much time you can spend learning before you start executing and focusing on what's bigger, better, and more important. Because the reason why chicks are messing with certain dudes is because those dudes are focused on themselves and what they gotta do, right? Whether it's their looks, whether it's their fitness, whether it's their business, whether it's their status, school, whatever. Those dudes are focused on something, and Shorty can respect it. She can admire it. That's why that whole acting busy with women works. The thing is, why act busy? Actually be busy. That
Right.
whole negging and acting like a chick isn't the most important thing in the world, that's cool, but why act? Why
So
why
I
why
think
does
he
she
said it.
not be the most important thing?
I think he said it the best. He said he's still
Mm,
waiting for what you get out of them. He's like, I think you gotta identify if pussy is the
mm.
pathetic thing, what's not the pathetic thing for to want from women.
I just basically told him what it is that whatever it is that you as an individual got going
You gotta
on.
give me an example for you. Give me your what you
Oh,
want
for
out of
for
women.
for, for me.
Yes, use yourself as an
Oh,
example.
bro, listen, I'll give you a perfect example. And this is
Okay.
real. This is real talk. So like I'll be dealing with chicks that are in other cities. Like all the chicks I deal with are like other cities that I live, right? I'm only dealing with like one chick in a city, bro. I'm not gonna out of respect. You get what I'm trying to say? They understand that I'm gonna deal with other women, so I have to put some type of you see what I'm saying? So I have to put
Great.
something, I gotta put something on it to make it make sense to them, right? I can't just be like
Okay.
I'm gonna do whatever the hell. So we gotta have some type of agreement, some type of parameters, right? So chicks be like, hey, I haven't seen you. You should come. You guys make some time with me. Blah blah blah. How can we make some time? Okay, cool. I need to get this, and this done, right? I gotta go collab with Shay. You know what I'm saying? What's up? You can find me some other YouTubers that I can collab with in your city. You see what I'm trying to say? You can find me some girls that I can interview in your city. You see what I'm trying to say? You could go research this for me. do this, figure this out, find this out, plan this for me. So that's what I'm saying. If a chick want to see me and spend time with me, it's because I already put down what I got to put down, right? There's something about me that she values enough to make the effort. If she didn't, then I have no business being there. And I think that's the first mistake that a lot of these dudes are making. They haven't created enough value to chicks yet, or to particular chicks, to be there. Why are you there if she doesn't value you as much as you value her or more? So you have to first establish that. When I first start talking to a chick, bro, I'm already putting all kind of obstacles in front of her to see how she's gonna respond. Right? Like I got a
That's
chick that's
advanced game though, bro. That's not like beginner game.
nah, bro. That's not advanced game, bro. That's screen to see if you about to be wasting your time. Because most
No,
dudes,
so
what they're
men,
doing is wasting their time.
I'm not
They're
disagreeing,
trying to chase a chick that's not interested in them.
but the reason why I say it's advanced game is because
Mhm.
now you're getting into the point where you're flipping the script, and a lot of people they
There's
can't.
no script to be flipped. It's just
Well,
logic,
what you said before,
Mhm.
girls are requiring things from us, right? There's in
Which
order
is
to.
logical. Which is logical.
Okay. So I'm saying, and we're
Mhm.
used to that. You said that we're used to that, correct?
Mhm.
What I'm saying is, you go, you take it a step further and say, well, no. What you gonna do for me?
Because
Now,
I'm already providing enough for her. That's why she's interested.
but I
I'm
think
already covering enough bases.
the question, okay, so this is something that men, your issues are issues that men have when they don't struggle with
Mm,
women. I want to address the issues that men have when they don't get women. The reason why pussy's
mm.
on a pedestal for these men, because it's a void. The reason why I don't put pussy on a pedestal is because I got it in abundance.
No, that's
Look at
not
this dude
why.
comment here, right? He said,
No, that's
"Been an
not
F
why.
boy." Look at this dude right
That's not
here.
why.
Emperor Caesar says, "Been an F boy. It's super exhausting. I don't know how guys continue to do it. It takes time and energy and resources and
Exactly.
mental clarity." And I'm agreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing.
Mm,
Talking to multiple women every day for
mm,
over 5 years is consuming. You know why I can relate to this? Because I've done this before.
mm,
Right now, it's a Thursday night. I don't work Friday. I am doing a podcast with another man.
mm,
Most men, if they're in my shoes with 15,000 subscribers, getting money, and
mm.
as a content creator, they're trying to get to some pussy. They're
Oh,
trying to
bro,
get to the reward, right?
bro. You know
Me,
how we had the days mixed up, right?
what?
So I'm supposed to be dealing with Shorty tonight, and I told her, "Nah, I got to do this thing."
Right. But
And
why
she's
you
like,
think we could do that?
"Huh?"
Because we had it in abundance. So I'm saying, just like this dude
I
Caesar said,
mean,
the only way you get bored of something is
I'm
if
not
you had
bored
it
of
in
it though.
abundance.
I'm not
Not
bored of it.
bored of
I'm
it,
just prioritizing.
but right. The only way you can start
Mhm.
prioritizing stuff is when and the way it doesn't become a priority is when you've had it, you've done it, you've been there, done that. Like I really want to go to Africa when I went to
That's a
Africa.
self control. That's a self control thing, though.
Like I really wanted to go to Africa when I went to Africa. But if Africa
Mm.
was something I was doing so regularly, I could skip a trip. But this trip that went on recently in
Nah, you don't
July,
want to skip a trip, bro.
I'm
I
okay.
can't wait to go back. I know what you're talking about. It's a beautiful place, bro. It's a
Uh,
beautiful place. But this is what I'm trying to say, bro. At the end of
but
the
this
day,
dude's on your head top. He said crickets. He said absolutely nothing. And I'm not saying you aren't saying nothing, but I just want you to see that I'm
mm,
not just the reason why I'm pushing back at you, bro. I
mm.
understand what you're saying, but you have to
I'm not.
address,
I'm trying to simplify for these guys.
but not
What
even
I'm
just
saying.
simplify. You have to
What I'm
go
saying.
to their level, like the
What I'm
level
saying.
of
The level is novice. No matter what you do, there's gonna be a novice level. So my point is, and I started with this point, is
that.
why do we treat everything else in life by the rule book? We go by the instruction manual, like the fucking furniture from IKEA. We follow the fucking directions. But when it comes to chicks, we act like we could do it in whatever order that we want to. If you haven't done something with yourself that chicks find attractive yet, chicks is not where you need to be. If you haven't gotten your money right to where you can get a section in the club, you can get a bottle and all like that, then you don't got no business in the club. Unless you're gonna do like what I did, which was figure out how to build the network, know the managers of the club, know the bouncers, know the bartenders, right? So now I can get in and I have the same level of influence and you know what I'm saying, charisma and access as the dude who can afford to buy the bottles and the table. In fact, even more so because my shit is genuine. People actually like me, they're actually fucking with me. But I had to add value to those people in order for them to want to fuck with me. I couldn't just go over to a bouncer and be like, hey, I want to be your friend because I want to get in the club for free and I don't want to wait on the line. Like the fuck? No, I have to come to him adding value for him to say, all right, I'm gonna give you back some value. So chicks are the same way. If I'm dealing with a chick, bro, I'm giving value in as many different areas as I can. Like I was telling you earlier, bro, if I'm dealing with a chick and she got her own businesses and all like that, That ain't something for me to be like, oh, boss babe, oh, I'm with that masculine energy. Bro, I'm not with none of that, bro. I'm gonna address her as the individual that she is. If she coming with masculine energy, I'm gonna check her right away. I'm like, Mom, when you with me, you gonna slide in your feminine. It's gonna be as comfortable as some slippers. You know what I'm saying? Don't even got a trip when you with me. And then when she realized that, she gonna let the guard down. You see what I mean? When she want to talk business, I'm gonna talk business with her. I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? Let me make some phone calls. Let me see what I could do. I think I got some people that could give you some good insight and blah 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 blah.
So you're not intimidated of boss babe.
I'm not intimidated about anybody that does anything.
But you know, a lot of boss babes say that men are intimidated. Do you know why?
Because of how they, this is the thing, women have
Bro,
a
I'm just
really
trying
hard
to,
time in
bro. I'm trying
understanding
to say
us. Mhm.
there's a difference between you and them. That's why I think
Mhm.
you're bro.
They're
I
not
know you.
communicating
I
well.
know
They're
you
not
are who you say you
communicating
are,
well is
bro.
what it is.
I know you are who you say you are because your
Mhm.
head's so in the clouds, bro. I'm trying to get you to see the earth, and it's almost like earth. Like you're so
Bro,
used to being high,
practice.
bro. Hold on, let
Practice
me
and
explain to
scrimmage is
you,
all these guys got to do.
bro.
Mhm.
I believe you're playing the game at such the highest level. You kind of stuck at that high level, bro. And look, for people in the chat, you might not know. I've had a few conversations with Yende. Yende's more advanced with girls than I am, bro. He be teaching me shit, and this is why I could tell you for a fact. You know what I'm saying? This dude knows what he's talking about. But the difference is, I think his feet hasn't touched the ground
Mhm.
in so long. What I'm talking about is just not in his. It's so far out of his rear view now. It's not to say that there's anything that it's not an issue that he can't comprehend. It's not a level of it's a level
Mhm.
of comprehension. It's just that like there's certain things that you probably haven't had to concern yourself with for so long, and that's why the dating market is so. This is the dating market right now, and I'll break it down. We can see it in this example.
Mhm.
We have men like you who are super skilled, who have girls in different cities, and then
Mhm.
we have men who pretend like they get girls and they don't. Those are the two extremes that you always see in the manosphere. Then it
Mhm.
came along me, someone who could understand the dude, that dude's faking it. He's talking bullshit. And then understanding, okay, nah, that dude's he's high level. Cause I know because I played at this level and the level he's playing on, that's a different level than me. So I'm the one stuck in the middle, and I could say this and that because one, I've never had money. So I've never got girls for money. So I don't know what the
Mhm.
fuck that's like. You know what I'm saying? I never could even trick on girls, never had enough money to trick on girls. And on top of that, even though I have my fair share of girls and I've had rotations of girls, stuff like that, I've always knew, even in my personal life, I've seen dudes who had way more bitches and badder bitches than me. And I have bad bitches too. So I know that there's levels to this shit. So I'm saying that to say that the biggest thing I think that we have to consider is that there's men who haven't, they're literally involuntarily celibate. They can't get laid tomorrow if they wanted to.
Mhm. Yeah, they
You
are.
know
No,
what
they are.
that
They
does to
are.
your psyche, bro.
But hold
What
on. But what percentage of the population is that though?
a large percentage, bro. They said a stat came out. 30% of men under the age 30, 30% of men under the age 30
Mhm.
haven't had sex in over a year. The
Right.
number, what the you know what the number was back in your day? Like 3%.
Yes, but hold on. But check out the overlay though, right? That's going to overlap with a whole bunch of other characteristics. So, for example, if you're talking about growing up in the 80s and the 90s, everything was hands on. Everything you had to touch grass. Everything you had to touch grass, right? So, what happens is doing the activities is what give you the confidence to do some more activities and so on and so forth. You're growing on it, right? Um, Even when you're observing someone else's game, someone else's skills, you wasn't doing it through a screen. You had to actually be there watching Buddy do his thing. You had to watch Buddy holler, watch Buddy dance up behind her. You know what I'm saying? Watch Buddy leave the party with her. You know, so what I'm saying is everything right now is exaggerated the way that it is. It is what it is. But what I'm saying is, as dudes, we gotta just rely on what we do best, right? Which is be analytical, be pragmatic. You see what I'm saying? Make a fucking plan and stick to it. You just said yourself that there's levels to it. And what that means is we all have to understand at what level we are, what we're capable of, and what our limitations are. I know what my limitations are, bro. There's certain chicks that they'll follow me back on Instagram and I won't even. I'll be like, because I already know she's, but I know I could have her, I could get her, but I
So
know
what's
it's gonna
the
be
okay? So
I know
let's
it's gonna
talk
be
about
way too
that.
much effort. It's not gonna be worth it. I know
What's
that later on I could rally back on her when I'm in a different place, a different
what's the
position, and
effort
it'll
you
be
feel like
worth
is
it.
too much? I think
Huh?
that's a great angle to go on. The girl that you think is out of reach.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she out of reach, and what's the effort she needs that you feel
Right.
like it's
Okay. So she's out of reach because of the caliber that she's in, and most of that's going to be defined by the type of dudes that she has experience dealing with. So there's literally women where I'll tell them
such
to the
as
face that like you don't qualify. I'll tell women, and when they're like, "What you mean you don't qualify?" It's like, "Sure, you don't qualify based on your dating history, based on the dudes you've dated previously." I just had to remind a chick of that today. It's like, look, based on the dudes you were dating before me, there has to be some type of orientation process before you could fucks with me. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't have the skill set. You never developed it. And that's not a diss. There's nothing
but the
wrong with that.
girl that on that
Huh?
you said a good point that I want to address.
Hmm.
That's a pretty interesting thing. You said that there's girls that will follow you on Instagram
Hmm.
and you wouldn't even holler because you feel like they're just up there or whatever. And
Exactly.
it's like too
So,
much
so,
work. What's the
what
too
I,
much
so
work?
what I'll do with them is when I engage them, it will be strictly plutonic, strictly business, right? But I'll plant a seed that I could come back on later. And I'll use the fact that they might be somewhat physically attracted, but I don't have any of the other things just right at this moment. So for that reason, I'm not going to seize this moment. Why go out there ill prepared? It's just like war. You got to be strategic. Sometimes today's not the day to fight the battle. You see what I'm trying to say? You know that's the ops. You know it's going to go down. It has to go down. It's inevitable, but it's not going to be today, right? It's going to be when I have my troops in formation and I actually have an advantage. So a lot of guys have to understand what their limitation is. And if your limitation is where you're getting no buns whatsoever, meaning you can't even lower the bar, you can't even keep on beating up on the same thing, you got nothing going on. Well, that means that you're not even in the game yet, bro. So you should be more motivated than anybody to check whatever boxes you got to check to get on Mario
Right,
level
but
one.
let's stick to what you think are the intangibles that she needs that you feel like she's just up there. Like that's the part I'm trying to figure out. What
Well,
makes her
as
up
well,
there?
well as men, we're punching down, right? We're punching down. So you need to get above the pussy because you were saying that, oh, the problem is that these dudes are putting the pussy on the pedestal. No, the problem is they're not putting themselves on a pedestal. They're not elevating themselves over the pussy. Whatever pussy you're trying to knock down, you need to be above that pussy. It's real simple. You
And
have to
how
be
do
able
you
to
do that
absorb
if
that.
you haven't see the reason why I'm confident with girls because I'll see
Mhm.
a girl and in my mind I'm like, oh, I don't fuck the girl like you already. So for me, like
But,
you
but,
don't
but how did you? But
intimidate
how, hold
me
on. But
because
how'd you
I
do that though? But how'd you fuck the girl like her though?
well, this is what I'm trying to say. I got
Mhm.
there before I even tried. A lot of times, this
Mhm.
is what I'm trying to say. There's certain people who are naturally getting. I was one of the people who naturally got
Right, but
girls.
that's your level. Is my point. Everybody has a starting level. The starting level is not
Right.
going to be the
So
same.
my starting level might have been a little
The
higher.
ascension is the same destination. The start is not the same. So if you started on level 3 and you were kind of surprised and you maybe you took it for granted, maybe you thought, oh shit, this shit's easy because it's whatever. Getting to level 4 ain't gonna be easy though. And then when you get to level 4, getting to level 5 ain't gonna be easy. So yeah, you got gifted level 3. You started with level 3. Congratulations, you won whatever, what I'm saying, genetic jackpot you won. That doesn't mean that the guy that started on level 0 can't also get to level 4. He just gotta get up 3 levels more than you did. That's what I'm saying. What I'm hearing in the space, bro, is too many dudes making convenient excuses. And the reason why I find that extremely hypocritical, um, as well as ironic, is because that's what you're saying about the chicks. You're saying the chicks are
Yeah, but
stubborn.
they
They don't
got a
want to
point
listen.
though.
They don't want to listen to reality. They're making excuses. They don't want to take accountability. Bro,
They got a point.
let's cut the shit real quick. Shay, let's cut the shit. Nobody can stop somebody from doing what they determine to do. I don't care if it's make $1 million. I don't care if it's sleep with models. Okay, Patrice O'Neill said that he insisted on sleeping with better looking women. He found a way that worked for him. I'm not shocked or surprised. When I was in high school, there was a fat nigga named Kool-Aid, and he was banging out the baddest chicks, and I couldn't understand it. I never really was able to understand it. But what I did take from it is it doesn't matter what your starting point you can get across the finish line, bro. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if your finish line is getting laid. It doesn't matter if your finish line is two girls at the same time. It doesn't matter if your finish line is having a stable. It doesn't matter if your finish line is having multiple baby mamas. It doesn't
But
matter if your finish line is having a wife.
I want you to address it because you know Myron very well, right? I mean, you know Myron.
I mean, well enough. I mean, we get along, bro. I mean, at the end
Okay.
of the day, we've
You
learned to
gotta look
coexist.
at the dating, you gotta
Mhm,
look at the manosphere and the
mhm,
people that we're trying to appeal to are a bunch of Myrons. They're
mhm,
smart, book smart,
mhm,
they don't have that much skills with women, and
mhm,
they read a lot and they read and watch
mhm.
videos, they come to their
Right.
own, they jump to
Exactly.
conclusions, and I won't lie, they're tough people to coach because
Mhm,
they're not idiots. and they think they figured it all out. And so I don't want to say you have to dumb it down, but you have to talk in tangibles that they can hold on to.
All right, I'll tell
So
you an easy start. An easy start is instead of taking everything personal, that's what a lot of these dudes are doing. They're taking female nature personal, they're taking the competition personal, they're taking the game personal, but yet they don't apply personal. And what I mean by that is every time they're explaining why they're not getting good results, they're blaming it on generalities. They're blaming it on the climate. They're blaming it on what year it is. But every time they experience the market, they take it personal. So which one is it? This is you versus the machine as an individual, which is personal, right? Or it's fucking generalities. So what I'm saying is you need to swap that around. Whatever women do say, I never take it fucking personal. But when it comes to how I apply myself from a personal lens. I don't look at, well, 64.7% of this ends like that. And these women cheat at this rate. And most women want a guy that's 6'2". Bro, let me tell you something. You know how long it was in my life before I started actually factoring height in? I missed that bus completely, bro. My second girlfriend was 5'11". I'm 5'10". It never even crossed my mind. Other people had to make it an issue because other people kept asking her, like, yo, why you with this dude? We living together and everything, bro. Carmelo Anthony is trying to date her. Jim Jones is trying to date her. Like all these high status dudes is trying to take my chick. And all her friends were constantly asking her, "Why are you with this guy? I don't understand. What?" And they're just like, "You don't get it. You just don't understand." And so yeah, I agree with you that some of us just had an earlier start. My point is, I didn't come out my mom's womb, you know what I'm saying, winning, but I started winning very quickly because I was fortunate enough to move around and travel a lot as a kid, right? So I lived in 3 countries before the age of 10. So I understood from a very early age it's how you apply yourself to the environment. You don't let the environment dictate your results. A lot of these guys, everything that come out their mouth is what's going on outside, is dictating what's happening to them in. You get what I'm trying to say? And
well,
that's how women talk. No disrespect, but that's what the women do. The women talk about all these outside influences that they're the victim of. Whereas guys, our whole existence is supposed to be exerting our will on the world, exerting our personal will on the environment. That's what makes a dude a winner. That's what makes a dude high status. That's what makes a dude successful. What makes a dude anything that we value men for. Is what they all have in common was they were able to exert their will on their environment.
right,
You get
but
what I'm trying to say?
yeah, no, absolutely. Because we're talking about power, you know what I'm saying? And power is getting your environment to do what you want it to do, people,
Exactly.
whatever. And it's hard to have power unless you have something that people want. You know, like, I'm
But that's
fortunate.
easy. Hold on, but that's easy though, and that goes hand in hand. You'll never have power without having something people want. So right there, you just made it as simple as it can be. Figure out how to either create or acquire things that people want.
That people
It's
want.
that simple. And continue
No,
to build yourself up and build up your arsenal of shit that people fucking want. So the first thing you need to be able to exert change on is yourself. That's the first thing. If you can get in control of your finances, you can get control of other things in the world. If you can get control of your fitness and your health, you can get control of other things in the world. It's come on, bro. It is so my point is, guys are making too many fucking excuses instead of looking within and saying, okay, where do I want to get started? It's gonna be an uphill battle. It's gonna be hard as fuck, but I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna stop making excuses. These niggas make too many goddamn excuses,
how
bro.
long do you think it takes? Because I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. Like,
It takes 30 seconds to change your perspective. To make yourself a promise takes seconds, bro.
if you have someone
Uh-huh.
like a Myron, I guess you don't have to use him as an example, but like a
Mhm.
Myron. So, by the way, I've never met Myron before, but he said that he lost his virginity at 18. So to me, or
I don't remember,
later,
but okay.
okay, but
Okay.
I'm okay. So I'm
Go
using him
ahead.
as an archetype
Mhm.
that there's
Okay, is
men.
that good or bad? Is that good or bad? Advantage or
It's
disadvantage?
late compared for most men. I
Okay,
don't know if it's good or bad. I'm going to tell my kids
well,
to
hold on,
keep.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Is that accurate? Is 18 really late for most men?
Well, probably not anymore when he's our age. So for our age
Mhm.
is late.
I'm older than both of you.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
It's late.
So advantage or disadvantage?
Well, I want to get to my point. I don't want to get stuck on. I don't want to get
Mm-hmm.
stuck on that, because I don't want to forget my point. And this is the
Mm-hmm.
thing I think that we're doing. I think that we I want to stick on the specific points
Mm-hmm.
and not get into some of the minutia because there's a lot of minutia.
But that's
That's
where the
what I'm trying to say.
magic
The
is at,
advantage,
though. That's where
huh?
the magic is at. That's these guys'
And I'm not,
problem is
and I'm
that they
not,
keep looking at its surface.
I'm not disagreeing with you. this, is,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm trying
You
to say. I
gotta
don't
dig. You
disagree with
gotta
that.
dig to find
The
gold, baby. It ain't
details
gonna be
are
at the
important.
top.
I'm agree
Uh-huh.
with you because that's all I work
Okay.
on. You want to know the truth,
Mm-hmm.
Yende? That's all I work on is the details. So I'm with you on
Mm-hmm.
that. But you can't talk to somebody about details when they're at the beginning. Like they're looking for broad strokes to make big
Man,
differences, right?
if you obsess over the details, you won't have time to worry about what girl you're not getting, bro. If you too busy making gains, too many making improvements, too busy getting better at things, you should be able to put the pussy on hold. Because guess what? Pussy's always been there and always will be there. I promise you, it ain't going nowhere.
It doesn't seem
And the
like that.
amount of chicks that rally back, the amount of chicks that try to come back later, you know what I'm saying? And you already in a position where you can't even cash in on it
But
because you
you
done
got
went so hard on it. You wouldn't have any self respect if you let it come back.
people like me and you, bro. We have egos. I got an
Mhm.
ego because of all the wonderful compliments I've gotten from women. The one thing
Mhm.
people want pussy, but you know what you really want? You want validation from women. That's what you really
That's
want.
my but that was my point, right? And you want to make progress because you know what's the best. You know what's the best validation, bro? When a chick is a helpmate, and she doesn't have to be your girlfriend or your wife to be a helpmate. You a G when you getting wife and girlfriend qualities out of women that are not your wife or your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? When you can make women feel special, feel fulfilled and poured into, and they're not even your only woman, that's a beautiful thing. Now, when you say it like that, guys are gonna be like, "Oh, well, you're promoting this. That's not right." So, how is it not right? If you do, listen, you can have three chicks and do right by all three of them. You can have one chick and treat her like shit, treat her like dog shit. Okay. You can have multiple chicks and add value to all of their lives, make them better people, right?
But that's
You
advanced.
can have one chick and ruin her life. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
So
we are
it,
way too advanced, bro.
it's short. Okay, so you saw how you brought up he lost his virginity at 18.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking you, is that an advantage or disadvantage? Because it's perspective. There's some people that go say, "Oh my God, that's late. He's at a disadvantage." I lost my virginity at 17, and it was a huge advantage because the chick was older than me. She was 19. She was hella experienced. She taught me everything that you could. What it took guys 10 years to learn. She taught me my first time. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. What I've seen guys take 10 years to acquire from sexual experience, I got the first time I lost my virginity because the chick was older and she was specifically and exclusively instructing. Like she was bro. It was a tutorial. She was telling me, do this, do this, do that, do this, do like this, do this like this, like this, do this longer. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da. Had nothing to do with enjoying it or coming from me whatsoever. I was in school, right?
But that's an
And
exceptional experience, though, bro. And
bro,
honestly, some
but
people might say,
that was hella beneficial to me
right, but some people might
because
say,
I understood how to go about figuring out each individual chick in the bedroom. There's one thing being pretty good overall, but really to be great, you have to learn how to pinpoint each particular chick. And this is very important and very powerful because think about it. Most of what we put up with as guys is because our desire for sex with these chicks. Right or wrong.
no, you're right.
So look how much power it has over us, how much we're willing to do behind that. If you perform well, and you give her an experience that's scarce or she's never had before or is extremely hard to replace. You learn her well enough. Now you just push every guy out of the picture as far as that's concerned. And now she's she's inclined now to do that much more for you. You understand? Because you got her covered. You justified her basically giving herself to you and dedicating yourself. So a lot of these guys think that the woman giving them sex is the win. Bro, that's not the win. The win is you giving her the sex. That's when you're winning with women. You getting laid is not winning, my dude. You giving the sex. When you're the giver of the sex, when sex is the resource that you're giving, that's when you are winning because you're getting the sex by default because you got to be there, you got to be present to give her the sex, right? But when the sex is what she's valuing from you, right? Not only, but to that degree. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That's when you're winning. That's when you're in the game. But if she's the one giving you the drug of sex, think about that for a second. If she's the dealer and you're the fucking dope head, you're the fiend, how are you winning in that equation? Right? So the dick you're giving needs to be the dope, bro, not the pussy that she's giving. So that's why when guys are making that the end game, to me, they're already taking the L. When you're not making sure that you have a certain type of rapport and influence with her, when you can talk to her, you can get her to open up to you, you can make her laugh, you can make her blush. That's that's the type of that influence that you need to be looking for. But simply she let me get some butt. I don't know, bro. Sounds to me like she has the power in that equation. So guys need to make themselves more valuable than the pussy is what I'm saying. And they do that by focusing on themselves until they get to a place where they actually have some leverage, some mojo, some advantage. Broke niggas in the club, it's a waste of time. Weak niggas in the gym, waste of time. Broke niggas at the country club, waste of time. So you can't put yourself in a position that you're ill-equipped for and then complain that you didn't get good results. To me, it's just ridiculous, bro. That's like going to play cards to go gamble with niggas. That's all they do is play cards and gamble, and you don't play cards, bro. You don't know shit about this shit, but you want to put your money on the table. Oh, I'm gonna bet my watch. I'm gonna bet this. Come on, it's my first time playing blackjack. Let's go. Beginner's luck. And then you lose your money and you complain as if you're the victim. You're like, oh man, it's this damn casino culture, this damn casino nature. The fuck are we talking about, bro? Did you learn about that shit before you went and did it? So how are you blaming the nature of it? It's ridiculous to me, bro. These
Do
guys are
you
not bringing
believe?
nothing. They're not bringing nothing to the table, and then they're sitting here saying what women is supposed to be doing. Why would she do that for you? Is the question. I'll give you an example. When women ask me, "Why aren't you married?" I ask them, "Why should I be married?" You're asking the wrong question. The question isn't why am I single? The question is why shouldn't I be single? You see what I'm saying? Well, why don't you have children? Why should I have children? That's the better question.
Yeah,
So
people.
stop asking why this
Even
bitch
I
is
don't
not
think.
fucking you and ask
Yeah,
why would she fuck you?
I could steal those because even I don't think about that to put it back on them. Because I don't think about gaslighting women. Women,
How is
women
that
are so good at
gaslighting them?
gaslighting.
That's
Well,
not gaslighting
gaslighting.
them.
Well, it's gaslighting because you're pitching it back to them, and I don't have anything against it.
No, no,
I
no.
like it,
All
but
it's doing is
I'm just
showing
being able
that
to
there's more than
categorize
one
it.
perspective.
I'm just
That's my point.
categorizing because that's a good. That's a good. I think that is a good comeback, and
Mm,
that's never my comeback. This is the question I have for you now. I want to move on to
mm.
women that earn over $100,000 a year and they're
Okay.
over the age of 40. Who do they qualify for? But before we get to that, I want to say this. Do you think a man could be in his 30s a virgin and not put women on a pedestal?
Which question you want me to answer first?
The last one I just asked. Can a man be in
Uh,
his
I
30s
think I
a
think I think
virgin and not put on women on a pedestal?
I think a man can do anything that he puts his
Okay,
mind to.
can a man like
Especially when it's about the mental, right? Because he's choosing what perspective he
is it
wants to have.
probable though? Is it
Hmm?
probable for most men to be in their 30s a virgin
Go
and not put
go.
women on a pedestal?
What is probable or common that's of value? Nothing. So the value would be in the discipline to see things in the way that's most beneficial for him. So if he wants to see that pussy as it's this thing he has to conquer, he has to get over this. Um, okay, fine. That's the choice he's making, right? Because I don't know any guys in that situation, but I've met multiple women in that
But
situation.
that's
Mhm,
what I'm trying to say. That's the people that's in this
mhm.
audience that
That's a choice, though. That in this day and age, that's a choice.
I don't know. I don't know.
Bro, didn't homeboy just tell you how time consuming women are, especially when you got more
Yeah,
than
but
one?
he's the dude Emperor Seer. He's married. I know him. He's one of my subscribers. He's married. He has a he married a virgin. Like his situation is.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
But yeah,
it,
he what he explained was he's someone that had more successful women. He's able to pick and choose. A lot of
mm,
these dudes are not in his situation. They're in a
listen to what I'm
situation
saying.
where they don't have no choices.
Just listen to what I'm trying to say. The fact that women are so time consuming, what that tells me is that a motherfucker that ain't getting none should have a lot of disposable time. So when you compare some of the dudes that were super cool in school, super popular and all like that, a lot of times there's a dude who's considered a nerd or lame or whatever Wasn't popular. That dude was able to run circles around this guy in the game of life because he didn't have friends to go hang out with and go kick it with. He didn't have a date every other night. You know what I mean? He didn't have girlfriends. So what he spent his time on is, I don't know, coding, you know what I mean? Day trading or something like that. He developed some other skill set that he's able to leverage in the market. Now, the dude that was cool, he still knows how to talk to women. The dude that spent his time working on that skill set, he's still horrible with women. The point is they use their time differently. So if you're telling me you're 30 years old and you're a fucking virgin, bro, it sounds like you got a lot of time to work on whatever you need to work on to make yourself attractive enough to get laid. That's my point. I've seen
Well,
some
if he
amazing
does that,
makeovers, bro.
isn't that means he's put it on a pedestal? Because you said
No,
before,
no,
you said
no, 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 bro. That's not about the woman. That's about himself. If it means that much to him. Okay, for example, if you said you want to go to Africa, there's people that's a lifelong goal of theirs or whatever. If it's a lifelong goal, that means that's how slow you hustle. Some people, they've been wanting to go to Africa for a couple of months now, and they figured out how to get enough money, put it aside, that they went to Africa within 3 months of wanting to go to Africa. For somebody else, it took them a decade, maybe two. That's up to the individual. The point I'm making is when you went to Africa, was it about Africa or was it about you wanting to go to Africa? So if a dude is 30 years old and he's still a virgin, bro, at that point it ain't even about the pussy no more. The pussy ain't on the damn pedestal, bro. Your virginity is what it is that you're focused on. So however you choose to lose that, that's up to you. If you got some type of contingency on it, bro, I thought I was gonna lose my virginity being in love and having a girlfriend and all this other bullshit. It didn't work out that way. Shorty had other plans, but I am glad that that's the way it happened. It wasn't my plan. That was this chick's plan, right? But if I had went the blue pill way with it, who knows? Who knows where I would have been in the game if I went the whole in love with my girlfriend shit. I might have fucked around, and married my high school sweetheart, bro. Not to say that that's bad. I'm just saying it could have went completely different. Right now, I'm on
yeah,
the side where I would never marry a chick in America. I probably would never have kids in America, but I damn sure want to somewhere else where the conditions make sense. You see what I mean? So that's where the generality does matter because it's legislation, it's law. So me being concerned with how marriages play out and what percentage and whatever, it matters in this situation because the law is binding. The law is what's going to make it personal for me, right? But all of this, women are like this, and most women are like that in female nature, bro. You just got to find the chick that operates. You brought up social media. Do you know how often I come across women that are fine as hell and they don't have social media? Do you know how often, bro, I come across chicks and they're like, I don't have an Instagram? So it's still out here. It still happens. Your second question was you asked me about a chick that's over
yeah.
40
Let's
and
talk
makes
about
over
the chick at
100K a year.
40. Yeah,
Bro, it's interesting that you brought that up
who
because
they qualify for? Who do
I
they
was
qualify?
talking to one last night and trying to figure out if she qualifies for me. She got all upset, started raising her voice, started getting triggered and whatnot. And I said, hey, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and let you have a good night. And I hung up the phone on her.
Mm.
Okay, moments later, she started texting me apologizing. So what I'm saying is, it didn't matter to me whether or not she took accountability and apologized or not. Either way, I had already made the decision that I made.
Did you
But
respond?
yeah, I said, hey, no worries, have a good night. The point is, I'm acting indifferent.
So
She's
you're
the
going to
one.
continue responding?
Yes, because this is what's going to happen. Now she knows that I have no problem hanging up and discommunicating with her. She knows I have no problem doing that because I demonstrated it
Is
already.
that going to really? Is she going to really change though? What are my thoughts are like when it's kind of what girls say
No,
about the
no,
whole
no.
red
I don't
flag.
need her to change. I don't need, bro. Do you think she changed for her boss? Do you think she changed for her employer? Absolutely not. She just knows how to behave herself for that time frame when dealing with that person. She also knows to behave herself when dealing with me for that time frame. I don't need her to become a different person. I just need her to behave accordingly when she
For what?
interacts
The
with me.
cheeks?
Huh?
To get the cheeks, or what are we talking about here?
Bro, I haven't decided yet. That's on her to show me what else she got going on. My point is that I'm not
Okay.
I'm not I'm
So
not beelined
you're
on
not
that.
cutting her off. You're not cutting her off.
For why? Because
No, I'm not. No,
because she rose her voice, because she got out of
I'm just.
pocket.
I want to make sure I understand what you're
Mhm.
saying. You're saying so she's not cut off.
Yeah, see, the problem is guys are reacting way too critical, and they're
I just
taking things
think
way too personal.
you said we value time, and I'm with
Exactly.
you on that. And
Yeah.
so if I have a girl that's too difficult, like the pussy's just not worth it for me, so I gotta cut her off. Like
Yeah,
I
but what
don't
I'm
care
saying is by
what.
cutting her off, she might very well start behaving quickly because she sees that you're willing to cut her off. The reason why women have such poor habits nowadays is because the majority of men have trained them to be that way.
I think you're
Because
giving
guys
them
aren't
too much credit.
communicating well. Huh?
I think you're giving them too much credit. I think some people have they just got a lot. They're just some people are insufferable. Some people are.
My G, beautiful women get away with far more
I'm about to agree with that.
than
We
not.
pretty privileged. I agree with that.
So what happens is, with that being said, just acknowledging that fact, you have to also acknowledge that men are making a choice to allow women to get away with more. If you go back and you start looking at stuff from the
But
past, you
those
start
girls can
looking
be
at,
saved though. Those girls you're
huh?
describing, they can be saved. I'm saying there's some women that can't be saved. I'm
Yo,
agreeing that
hold
some
on,
women.
time out. Shay, I'm not talking about saving nobody.
No, but what I'm saying is
I'm
that
talking about having a zero tolerance policy and men staying on code. The lack of that is why the women are acting the way they're acting. So, for example, I get this all the time, right? For example, I had a chick in Oklahoma City, and a couple weeks ago, she shot the message at me and was like, "Yo, why don't you come out to Oklahoma City, come visit me? We'll go out to eat, we'll have a really nice dinner, and then we'll go back and we'll have sex." And I was like, all right, this chick's a baddie. I'll show her to you later. She's a baddie. Um, but there's obviously some red flags there, right? Because do I got it like that? Absolutely, I got it like that. But it doesn't come like that. It's not delivered that way. It's not worded that way. So I was like, all right, well, we'll see what it is. It's no big deal. It's neither here nor there to me. I'm not impressed, right? I've been around for far too long. But I see what's going on over there. We'll inspect that later. So then she messaged me and was like, she sending me some pictures and stuff, not no nudes or anything. She started sending some pics, and then she's like, "Hey baby, I would love for you to fly me out to Miami so I can come see you out there." So I was like, "Okay, cool." Now it's starting to make sense. You're just another chick fishing for a free trip to Miami. Cool. Again, I'm not offended. I don't take it personal. Just like as a trainer, the amount of DMs I get of girls asking me, "Hey, you're a personal trainer." It's like, bitch, come on with the rhetorical questions. You know I'm a trainer. What do you want? Get to the point. I don't care how fine you are. I'm treating you the same way as I would treat a random dude texting me, "Hey, what's up, bro?" What's up with what? I don't know you. State your fucking business. Get to the point, right? I'm gonna treat a fine chick the exact same way. I don't know you. What do you want? Get to it. When you do that, they realize, oh, okay, wow, he doesn't treat people differently based on whether or not they're fuckable or not. Got that. He's also about his time. He's about his business. Got that. When they ask me, to train them for free, I don't get upset. I don't get offended. I'm like, how dare you? I just say I can understand why you would proposition me with that. There's plenty of trainers out here that are willing to sleep with chicks. I mean, willing to train chicks for the possibility of sex. So you shouldn't have a problem finding one. And then they're like, they try to backpedal it. It's like, well, you can't afford me, sis. These are the clients I usually deal with. This is what they pay. Are you interested in paying that? Is that your budget? Oh no, I can't afford $1,000 a month. I said, okay, well, respectfully, then I'm not the trainer for you. But the respect is there. Because now, not only is she attracted, but now she respects me because she just saw me turn down her twat or the potential for her twat. So now, if she pushes harder, which some do, most don't, women don't like rejection. Some do try to come with some more shit. That's when I'll say to them, and this is real shit. Just like Cam said back in the day, if you see me with two chicks, chances are I'm fucking both of them. That's what's going on over here. If you see me with two chicks in public, chances are I'm fucking both of them, bro. So I said to her, I said, listen, I don't train women for sex. I train the women I'm having sex with. That's first and foremost. Also, I'm not investing in your body unless I have exclusivity to it. Are you sure that's what you want to do? Some women take that deal, some women don't. But I'm letting them know from jump. There is no me wiggling to try to get the pussy. I'm literally saying I'm not even really interested in it like that. But if you want to have this conversation, under these terms will I entertain it, and these terms only. And when they see that, they're like, wow. So which one is it? He got plenty of buns or he really doesn't care? So when they're like, oh, you must got plenty of girls, I'm like, sweetie, what I don't have is plenty of time. And women are time consuming. So no, I don't have plenty of girls. I just don't have the time for it. And they're like, wow. My cousin taught me that years ago. He said, cuz when I meet a chick, the first thing I do is I let her know the pussy is obsolete. I don't need any pussy. I could use some, but I don't need any. That's real shit. And when you make that point, and my cousin's not a good looking dude, bro. He's an ugly dude. Multiple chicks have told me he's ugly. The amount of times I tried to hook him up with the friend, They all said the same thing. Your cousin's ugly. And that's because they didn't talk to him. They didn't interact with him. If he gets his alone time with him, bro, next time you see him and her, he gonna have his arm around her. You know what I'm saying? He's probably smashing already, or he
Right,
will be shortly.
right, right. And look, I followed everything you just said. I followed everything you just said. But I want to let you know the original question was
Mhm.
what kind of
Oh,
man?
what do you do?
I
What do you
want
do with the
I
shorty?
want to go to that because
I
to
just told
me,
you. I just told you the same you do with any shorty. You let her know that my time is more important than anything else. So these are my terms to deal with
that's
you.
not the
So
question.
so
Though. The
who does she
question
no who
is,
does she qualify for? Was your question? I'm telling you, women qualify for you if they choose to. The point is they have to know what they're qualifying for. A lot of guys when they deal with chicks, they're so ambiguous, and that's what
so give
irritates
us the
women.
type. What kind of so should a chick who makes
Mm,
100,000 and she's in her 40s?
What's the difference? She's a chick.
Hold on, should she be
Uh-huh.
looking for a man older than her that makes more money?
See, that's the thing. I don't subscribe to these boxes, bro. I get what you're saying. What's the likelihood and all
Well,
that kind of
the
stuff.
reason why I don't necessarily say I subscribe to them either, but this is the game that
Mm.
they're playing. They're playing when they
It's
tell
a
you what
stupid
they
game,
want.
though,
When they tell you what they tell you what they want, they're gonna tell you, "I want a man that makes more money and he's older."
bro. You not understand what I'm saying. That's in a woman's fantasy world where she calls the shots. Now, make this make sense. When you ask women what they want, what they're like, what they're attracted to, whatever, right? They keep saying goofy shit like, I'll submit to a guy that's worthy, and I'll be in my feminine when a guy's in his masculine, and I want a guy that's at my level. And then they list off a bunch of shit that's above their level. So we
Right.
already know what they say means nothing. What they do is what we pay attention to. Who have they dated in the past? Who has it been the hardest for them to break up with? Who do they keep on going back to? Who do they keep breaking up with and going back to? Right? So who's calling the shots in that scenario? He's calling the shots. Let's be honest for a second. Shape, ask yourself, be honest. In your experience, we're talking to women, not even you and them, just talking to them in general and letting them vet to you, letting them tell you their situations. How often does it sound like they're in control of the dynamic?
With me?
No, with chicks. When they're talking about other guys, when they're talking about the guys that they're
Oh yeah,
frustrated
yeah,
with,
yeah,
the
yeah. Of
guys they
course,
broke
yeah,
up with, the
yeah,
guys
yeah.
they care about, the guys they like
Well,
or whatever.
everything's through the perspective that they're doing the choosing.
No, my point is who's controlling the dynamic of those relationships? The ones that women are emotionally invested in. Anytime a woman's emotionally invested in a relationship, what do you notice about the
Well, the guys
dynamic?
in control. But
That's
hold on,
my point.
bro. But here the but none of this is what I want to find out. The
No,
reason
you asked me who does
here,
she qualify for. My
here's
point is she qualifies for whoever is able to take the lead. That's like saying who gets to ride this horse. There's this wild untamed stallion who gets to ride it. Whatever fucking guy can tame that horse.
but here's so I understand that you don't subscribe to these boxes. I
Hmm.
and I get
Bro,
it.
it could be a thug nigga that just got out of prison. It could be a nigga that fucking runs a fucking a company. He's a CEO. It's whoever is going to
But
tame that
the, the, the,
beast.
it's almost of like if a girl was in that situation, where
Hmm.
should she aim her energy at? Because what's happening is we have a bunch of women who dedicated
Hmm.
their lives to their career.
Hmm.
They made good on it. They got the
Hmm.
career. They got the job. They got the money. Some of them even bought
Right.
houses.
Okay. That they're
I deal with these
struggling to
girls. I
keep.
deal with
They're
a
in
girl. She,
foreclosure.
huh?
That they're struggling to keep. Their foreclosure rates keep going up. But go ahead.
That is true. But their appetite for a man is at the highest it's ever been because
Okay,
they're
but are they willing to do what that man requires them to do to be in his life? Now, notice I phrased it that way because a lot of these women, the problem is they're asking for exclusivity and they don't qualify. They don't have what it's going to take to make a guy that at that level be exclusive with them. So they're already setting
and the guy that
themselves up
makes more
with
money
the
than
well, they're just putting themselves in a position with the impossibility. Can he make more money? Absolutely. Simps come in all different salaries,
but
so
do they want
they can always find a guy that has a lot of money that will be exclusive with
I
them.
don't think it's so funny, and I agree with that. But a lot of them don't want the simp because they will. Some of them sleep with the simp. They'll go on a
No,
date
nobody
and
wants to
stuff like
simp.
that. But unless he's really in the money, unless this dude's getting some serious cheddar,
No, but they don't want him. They never want the simp. There is no hold on. There is no evening the attraction playing field. If a woman's not attracted to you, she's simply not attracted to you. If she's willing to engage with you because of what you have, she's engaging with you because of what you have. That's why these women are divorcing dudes, because the government is giving them a way to separate the dude from what they value. They don't value him, they value the money. If a woman stays with the dude no matter what, then it was the dude. If someone can separate the money from the dude and they still choose the dude, okay. And I
So
understand
so
that
you
that,
think
that
the sky's the limit for these girls?
what do you mean sky's the limit?
As in that they can aim high and get high?
Bro, the man is the limit. That dude is the limit. In every
No,
scenario, that dude is the limit.
what I'm saying is so
Hold on. That dude controls the market. He controls the game. So our objective should be to get as close to that dude's level as possible. 99.9% of us will never be the dude, because by definition the dude is in the most minority. The point is that we can have movement, we can have motion on the scale, on the
but I want to
spectrum.
focus
We
from the
can have
girl's
motion.
perspective because my personal opinion is women that are over the age of 40
Mm,
that are professionally successful
mm.
need to lower their standards because they're impossibly high. And what we're having now is we're having a bunch of women who are becoming side chicks
No, we
just to
just
get
need
their
no, no. We just need guys. We just need guys to raise their standards collectively. And what I mean by that is you can't sit here and call these women thoughts and say all these women aren't virtuous. They go and be thoughts. Okay, but thoughts are getting are getting rewarded. The thoughts are getting rewarded with more time, energy, attention, money, and resources than the women that are doing the right thing. So by definition, it is the fault of the men, because we are the ones creating the market. We're creating the market for it. If guys were to phase bitches out, I'll give you an example, because I tell guys this and very few guys actually do this. I myself do it. Whenever I get a little bit of downtime, I'm doing cardio, whatever, I go through my Instagram, I go through my follow list, and I delete as many people, as many females as I can that do not follow me back, right? If I'm following a chick that's not following me, I assure you, it is by accident. The moment that it comes to my attention, she's getting unfollowed. Now imagine, let's extrapolate that. Let's say, for example, that 80% of men had the same philosophy. Let's say they had the same protocol. Oh, I followed this chick, it's been 48 hours. She didn't follow me back, unfollow. How could women garnish free attention? They couldn't. So they would have to start doing something else worthy of our attention, regardless of whether she finds that guy attractive or not. We're the ones that's creating this market to whereas if we're less attractive, we're willing to do more. That's ridiculous. Guys should have some type of standard that we keep collectively, and we only afford it to the women that select us. So what happens is fives will be able to attract and keep the attention of fours and fives, because the market will be it will be enforced
I
by
feel
everybody
that
saying, hold on, let me finish so you can see where I'm going. Because women can't get marriage anymore. And the reason why is not because men aren't committing and men don't see value in marriage and blah blah blah. All of those are sub side effects of it, right? What's really happening is that women are no longer on code. 50, 60, 70 years ago, you only had two women you could pick from: the chicks that were down at the brothel, and you slept with them but didn't marry them, or the women that were saving themselves for marriage, and you didn't sleep with them, you married them. It was one or the other. And because everyone, for the most part, stayed on code, you think there weren't some women that lost their virginity before marriage? Of course. But they did it so discreetly, and everybody stayed so much on code. Do you think there weren't guys that married the chicks at the brothel? Of course, there were guys that eventually retired those chicks and married them. But it was such a small minority. It didn't affect the bigger, broader picture, which is the mass majority of the society staying the fuck on code. Fathers understood, I have to keep my daughter a virgin, keep her virtuous in order for her to have leverage on the marriage market. And guys understood that I'm going to have to make something of myself to be worthy to court somebody's daughter, because that's the only way I'm going to get some buns. The only way I'm going to get buns is to get married. And the only way I'm going to get married is if I win over the father. So everybody stayed the fuck on code and understood what the cost and the requirement was of what you're trying to get. The problem is today is that women are giving out butt left, right, and center. So now women have zero leverage with sex anymore because there's too many different ways to get sex. You don't even got to be nice anymore. You don't got to necessarily pay for it anymore. You don't got to get married anymore. You don't got to say I love you anymore. You don't got to commit anymore. I'm old enough to where I've seen it gradually shift and change what the goalpost was, right? So before I was on earth, you had to get married. Then by the time I was growing up, you had to go steady. You had to eventually tell this chick you loved her. You see what I'm trying to say? It just got less and less and less the requirement to sleep with these chicks. Now it's to the point where they have no leverage over it. Well, guess what? That's where our attention is now, and that's where our resources are. 25, 35 years ago, in order to spend 150, $200, $300 on dinner, it had to be a bitch's anniversary, bro. It had to be, you know what I'm saying, a birthday. It had to be some type of event for a guy to spend that type of money to take a woman on a romantic dinner. Now there's dudes spending $300 on a dinner date with a chick they just met. And now there's chicks thinking that they're gonna garnish that from me. I had a chick just recently tell me, "Hey, so we're gonna go out to eat. Where do you watch this? Watch this bullshit. This is how you decode it." She says, "Hey, I'm gonna show you around town. What type of food you like to eat, so I can name some restaurants or whatever." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "Yeah, what do you like to eat?" And then she says, "So I can make reservations." I said, "Reservations?" I giggled. I said, "Sweetie, I've never made reservations for a restaurant a day in my life. Yeah, I might have went to restaurants that require reservations, but I didn't make them. I just knew somebody that I needed to know. So I've never done that." And she said, "Well, the restaurants that I go to, you're gonna need to make reservations." Now, let's see what just happened here. She's presenting this as she's trying to cater to me, asking me what I want to eat and making it sound like it's about me. Yet she already has a preconceived notion of what restaurants I'm allowed to pick from. So you're not really letting me pick the restaurant. You're letting me pick from the restaurants you've already picked. So you're already trying to use me for an experience. You've already decided what my spending range is going to be to cater to you and to spoil you. So I just let her say all of that stuff on the phone. I just let her say all that stuff, and I was like, and I didn't agree to anything. I said, "Well, I guess we'll talk about that, closer to that time." She's like, "No, no, no, we need to make reservations from now." I said, "No, we got plenty of time." She said, "Plenty of time for Saturday? It's already Thursday." I said, it hasn't been an issue before. I'm sure it'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? I said, "Hey, you know what? By the way, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later." She's like, "Well, let me know when you decide." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, sure, sure, bye." And then she texted me again later. Was like, "Hey, so still need to know what's going on with that, and if you really want to see me and whatever." I said, "Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you brought that up, because if you really wanted to see me, it wouldn't matter what restaurant we go to, and we wouldn't need to spend this type of money." She said, "Well, I like to be spoiled and I like to be catered to. So, do you want to see me or not?" I said, "Well, here's the thing. Obviously, I wanted to see you because I was texting you back. But what I don't want to do is cater to a stranger and spoil a stranger. No, that's not what I'm coming to town for." Right? So thanks anyway. So what did she do? She starts trying to change it. Oh, it wasn't that and it wasn't this. I said, "Listen, I'm not going to debate it with you. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I already made other plans." So now she's just reduced herself to just the booty call. It was already going to be a booty call. She thought she was going to put dinner and all this magical shit in front. I would have had no mind doing that if I chose that. You're not going to choose that for me. I could tell by her response that that's never been the outcome. She's never been confronted like that, and she's never been just flat turned down and said, I'm no longer interested, and I've already made plans with someone else, and turns out they like Chipole's too." I don't fucking know you, sis. You're not going to count my pocket for me. So, guys allowing women to get away with this malarkey and this bullshit is why we have to confront it. And I have no problem confronting it because I address it like an individual. I don't sit here and say, "Oh, the bitches nowadays are all gold diggers and all that." Bro, I don't take it I don't care that much. I just tell them, "Hey, that's not what I want to do." That's it. They either get on board with me or they get replaced. And I know you're gonna say, "Oh, well, other guys don't have the ability to replace." Bro, we all have the ability to replace, but replace at our level. I'm not replacing an 8 with a 10. I'm replacing an 8 with a 7.5, my guy. That's a little bit more cooperative. But I worked to get to that level, is my point. I worked to get there. It didn't happen overnight. So whenever I was at 6, I was fucking them fives, bro. You see what I'm trying to say? When I'm at 7, I'm fucking them sixes. When I'm at 8, I'm fucking the sevens. When I'm at 9, I'm fucking 8. That's how it goes. And every once in a while, you have a shining moment. Every once in a while, you'll have an opportunity. If you add in value, you'll get an opportunity to be in the right place at the right time with the right people. You'll be shining. And at that moment, you can reach a little bit higher than your status. It's a beautiful moment, but it comes around every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? There's been times I've won a bodybuilding show. At that moment, I'm at the highest because I won this shit. I'm the champ today. I beat everybody today. So for today till midnight, I'm the champion. So I'm gonna cash in. I'm a benefit. I'm gonna get the baddest thing I could get. Hey, you, let's do it. Let's go out for drinks. Let's celebrate. Whatever. She wants to be with the winner. Come tomorrow, it's back to the drawing board. But tonight, I'm a fucking winner. But it would have taken me 20, 16 weeks to get there. You get what I'm trying to say? So
No,
guys got to put themselves in position to where, as on some particular night, they're gonna be the winner. But you got to put the grind in. So all of this blaming the game and blaming female nature, bro, this shit's a waste of time. Pick something to work on and work on it. Learn how to fucking change a tire. Learn how to fix some shit. Learn how to make a bitch laugh. Learn how to fucking hit the G spot. Bro, learn this shit. Add to your arsenal. You understand what I'm trying to say? And then you'll be more formidable out in the field. There's always gonna be guys that could beat you. The thing is, you don't want to be at the bottom of the barrel, dog. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to come in last place, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to get the baddest bitches. You don't got to get the best car. You don't got to have the most money. You just got to at least get in the game, is what I'm saying. What I don't want to see is guys give up on chicks altogether, bro. That shit is whack. And that's where we are now. You got dudes saving up to buy fucking dolls and all kind of crazy shit, bro. Listen, I'm not judging anybody. The point I'm trying to make is you gave up on yourself because you made it about the women instead of making it about yourself. If you want to have good time with beautiful women, bro, you don't got to take the women that seriously. You got to take yourself seriously, is what I'm saying. You understand what I'm trying to say? Make yourself serious so that you can get the results that you would want. Enjoy your life, have a good fucking time. Don't just throw the towel in and say, "Oh man, these women aren't worth it." In what world, bro? In what world? What are you gonna do if you don't interact with real women? You gonna get a doll? You gonna play with yourself?
no, I'm not, bro. I'm not worried about myself, and a lot of times we have this conversation for the audience more than me. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying I'm speaking to the
Yeah, I try to
audience.
put myself
You
in the
gonna you gonna
audience.
give up or what?
I think the audience, they're frustrated. Average men can't date average women.
Mhm.
We're in a weird place. And I don't know what the solution is.
You gonna starve to death? If it gets hard to get food, are you
I
gonna give up
mean,
and starve
I
to
think
death?
I think what I personally believe what's going to happen is men are going to take back control. You think they should too, but I think
Yeah.
the way they're going to take back control is that they're just going to not play the game anymore. And I think what's going to really happen is a lot of women are going to have to share a very few group of. It's going to be obvious in the
And
future
that's
that
not a win.
women
And
are.
that's not a
It's
win
going to be
though.
so obvious that women are sharing men because
Yeah, but that's
they're
not
going
a
to have to
win.
cooperate with each other in sharing, and they're going to have to
That's
try to
that
set down some rules. So
that's where we are
polygyny is going
now.
to be where we're going is where polygyny is going to be so transparent, so visible at the forefront,
I don't
where
think
girls
so.
are going to know this their sister girlfriends and
I don't think it's gonna play out that way, to be honest with you. I think what's gonna happen is um the guys are going to start disconnecting from the women um to the point where it's just sex and nothing whatsoever. That's what I think the
that's
highest
only for
status
guys
guys.
that yeah that's
That's
only
what I'm
for
saying. That's
guys.
what I think. I don't think the highest status guys are gonna start like having 10 girlfriends or 10 wives. That's not what's gonna happen.
Well, they
They're not gonna.
already have
They're
that.
gonna. No, no. What they already have is just open access. I don't think they're keeping anybody around for any length of time, is what I'm trying to say. So it's not going to be women sharing boyfriends or husbands. It's going to be women only getting attention from these guys when they're getting pounded out, and that's it. That's what's going to happen
I think
because
women,
people.
I wouldn't mind that. I think a lot of girls. In fact, I think we're in a
That's not good
period.
for us, though. That's
I
not
think
good
that
for the rest of the society.
I think that's where we are now. I mean, I know a lot of girls who
That is where we are now.
that's what they just want. They're cool with just being smashed. Like
No, they're
I
not. No, no, they're not. No, they're not. Their
well,
ego, their
well,
ego won't
well,
allow them to admit
I'm
that
gonna
they
keep it
hate
real
that
with you,
shit.
bro. I'm actually just not that interested in just smashing a girl who I can't utilize for more than just that, unless she's super bad. And
Me,
honestly,
me either. But how many girls do you really need? Is my point. You can only balance, but so many women, just like you can only father, but so many children. At some point, there is a threshold that if you have any more kids, you're neglecting kids at this point because you just can't possibly be there enough for any of them if you have that many.
I've
Somebody's
never
getting
tried to
somebody's
figure
getting
out.
left out.
I've had rotations of the thing about when I and here, the thing I found out interesting in my personal life is that the more girls I've had, the less I've spent with girls overall. Like when I have
Of
a girlfriend,
course.
that's where the most like if I have to say like, how many
Yeah,
hours in
if
a
you have
week,
one girlfriend, yeah. You're spending way too
she's
much
taking
time
up a
with her.
lot of my time. Where if I have multiple girls,
Which is a choice. Which is a
which
choice.
the way it seems to work is like no girl requires too much attention. So and I've only had multiple girls when I've been really busy, like grinding. Where like that's another weird part about it. Like
But
I've had
that's when they
girlfriends where I
value
had a
you.
lot of free time.
But that's when they value you. That's when they
That's when they
value your
value,
time.
and then they
Right.
understand that you can't. You're not just not answering the phone because you don't want. You're not answering the phone because
Well,
you're at work.
you're not with another bitch. You see what I'm
And
saying?
well,
This is the thing. Women don't respect that because at the end of the day, you're still wasting your time. That's the thing. You're still wasting your time. Even if you're spending too much time with your wife, you're wasting your time because yeah, you should be spending time with your wife, obviously. But there becomes a diminishing returns. There comes a point where, okay, any more time, the time is just becoming less valuable now. Right? That's the situation. We gotta be where we're best, where we're the most productive. You get what I'm saying? And this is why long distance relationships sometimes seem like they're better. Or just relationships where the man is extremely busy. It seems like it's better. Because she's able to value that dude more and that guy is able to get more done. And then when he does spend time with her, it's positive. It's not, you get what I'm saying? We spend too much time with a chick, then she's like nagging you and she's telling you about this stuff and telling you about that stuff, and you know, it's too much time for her to express negative emotions. If she hardly gets to see you, but you're still taking care of business, when she does see you, she's just gonna make the best of it. You get what I'm saying? Especially if that's the pattern that you laid down. That's the tone that you set. As guys,
I just that's what they need. I think a lot of
of
girls
course.
only really need a guy once because let's be real, man. Like everybody is at the point now where I think people rather be out there at work with their friends or alone. I don't think we have this environment anymore where women are putting so much stock into having a male partner who they're with with a lot. A lot
Well,
of girls just want the
if you're bringing that
intimacy of it.
value, yeah. If you're bringing that value, if you bring that value, absolutely they will. You get what I'm trying to
So
say?
I'm not
So
talking about for me. I'm not talking about what I want. You know, I'm gonna get what I want, but I just like on the dating apps. I meet a lot of girls who you could tell like either they want to go on dates, right? Like they just want to
mhm.
experience the world through a man and on through a man's expense. You know what I'm saying? On a man's expense, or they're looking for a man who they can get reliable D from. And you know, I prefer the latter over the former, but even the latter is not that interesting for me personally because I don't like to go on 51st dates. I don't want to keep going through the process where, all right, you're gonna last 60 days, she's gonna last 90 days, and it just puts it
Mhm.
takes a lot of time for me to even now, like I got like I'm talking to like one girl now, and when she started acting right, I just started falling back off the dating apps because it's just too much to keep
Oh yeah, of
investing in.
course,
You know what I'm
of
saying? Like, oh,
course,
I
of
got
course.
one. Oh, I got one. Oh, she's cool. I can call her. Like I'm talking to this one girl right now, bro. I can call her. We can hang out. We're going out to dinner tomorrow. Like I could just rock with her. She understands. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And she's local, so she's not too far away. Like
Right,
I stopped going on after
right.
that. I stopped going
But
dating
I
apps
mean,
as much.
but she's pleasant to be with. So I mean,
She's
listen,
more than just a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If she was just a
mo-
fuck, I'd
most
be
of
on
these
a dating
women
app
don't
still.
know. Most of these women don't even know what they want, bro. To be honest with you, most of these women don't know what their problem is, and they don't know what they want. So the thing is, a lot of these guys engage with these women, and the guys have not assumed any type of leadership role. They haven't. You get what I'm trying to say? They're responding to the woman. They're basically, well, what will she let me do? Is the mentality like, what can I do? What can I kiss her? Can I this? Can I that? So already you don't have any plans. So this is the way you got to look at it, right? Whatever the hell you're doing with a chick, it should be a destination with stops along the way, and you bringing her into your world. She's getting into your car. You're driving, she's the passenger, she's getting into your car. A lot of dudes, when they interact with these chicks, they don't know what's the next step because they're too busy waiting for her to accept them, approve of them, validate them, allow them. They're too busy waiting for this bitch's permission, so they don't have a plan. They don't have a destination put in the GPS. The moment the chick senses that, she's already gonna be susceptible to other guys because she's waiting for someone to give her a plan. She's waiting for someone to give her a destination, a plan with an address already in their GPS so that she can say yes or no to it. So on a small scale, it's when you're trying to link up with a chick and she's like, okay, so what you want to do? And the guy's like, I don't know, what are you into? What do you want to do? What do you think is fun? He thinks he's doing the right thing by saying that. And the woman is like, okay, this motherfucker doesn't know what the fuck he wants to do either. You see what I'm trying to say? So now another dude who's direct, who's like, hey, yo, what's up? Cat Williams is in town in a week. You down? That guy seems way more appealing because at least he has some fucking direction. At least he at least knows what he wants to fucking do. That sounds a hell of a lot more promising than someone that's like, I don't know, what do you want to do? What are you into? I mean, what do you like to? I mean, what do you like to go? I mean, you like comedy show? I mean, like, what do you like? I'm just trying to get to know you. You know, like, what do you, bro?
But
You're hanging yourself. So the entire relationship needs to be that way. That this is where I'm going. Do you want to come with me?
yeah,
Yes or
but
no?
keep it real true. If that's the advice you got, right? Most men who could take that advice and run with it, they don't even need the advice. Like,
Any guy can take that advice and run with it, bro. Before you fix your, first of all, most of these dudes ain't even getting at these broads.
that's what
So
I'm
right
saying.
there, so right there, it's like, what the fuck? You're complaining that you're not getting chicks when number one, you're not building attraction, and then
So
number
you
two,
believe
you're not
every
even
man,
hollering at them.
you believe every man could become successful?
Yes, my guy, because I just
Okay,
showed you. We
I'm
agree that
trying
there's
to
a
tell you,
level. We agree that
I'm,
there's levels, right?
but
Hold on, hold
I'm
on,
telling you,
hold
I
on,
don't
hold on,
believe every man
hold,
can.
hold on. Okay, let me tell you something, bro. I've done a hell of a lot of traveling, bro. All right, you will go. Do you know that the poorest countries a lot of times they have the worst traffic? They got the most fucking cars on the road. Now think about that for a second. These are supposed to be poor people. So you would think that they would have less cars. No, they got cars. They just got shitty cars. They got cars that are old as fuck that came from other countries. Cars that were already new cars in other countries, then became used cars in those other countries, and then got so damn old they shipped them out of the country. And those cars are getting rebuilt and refurbished and driven in poor countries. So in poor countries, they're driving cars that are like 25, 30 years old. You see
Which
what I'm trying to say? So
no,
my point, my hold on. So my point is that these are poor people, but yet they have vehicles. Why? Because they have vehicles at their level. They have iPhones, but they got iPhone 8s and shit like that. Right now, they got iPhones that are 10 years old, and somehow they're working over there. But if those iPhones were here, they'd magically stop working, and they need all kind of upgrades that aren't available, all kind of bullshit. They need updates that somehow you can't put on a phone that old, but somehow that phone works in Costa Rica. Somehow that phone works in Mexico. I'm confused. Yeah, it's bullshit. Apple knows that you'll buy the new fucking phone in America and UK. Okay? But in these other countries, it's a whole second market for them. So my point is that even they have an iPhone, but it's an iPhone at their level. Even they have a car, but it's a car at their level. These motherfuckers are the boss of their own business. They got their own business, but it's a little fucking kiosk, it's a little booth or some shit, it's street food or whatever the fuck it is. The point is, it's their business, but it's at their level. So these
right.
people are their own boss and they
I
have
get
the
that
things
part.
we have just at their level. So
So
yes, I believe every guy can get in.
right, and I think we have, um, and it's okay that we do. You know what I'm saying? I just am more cynical about it. Um, because especially being a personal trainer, maybe you didn't, maybe you've seen something similar as a personal trainer too. I, I, Personal training made me realize how fucked most people are going to be. And the reason why I made me realize that is because I've realized that most people like having a trainer to say I did something,
I just about
but
to
not
say that to make an excuse.
to make an excuse, but not
Just to say
enough.
to say
Not
say it's not me. See, look, I'm doing everything that I can do, and somehow it's still not working. So it must not be me. No, you're not obviously not doing the right things. You're not
right,
doing it in
and
the right
instead of
way.
figuring out what that right thing is, they're content with,
Making excuses.
well, not just that too, but just saying like I tried,
Exactly.
I did
That's my
everything.
point.
So I feel like when I look at myself, I'm like, damn, I'm actually rare. Like I'm not. Most men are not like me because most men are, they're gonna settle for their own mediocrity. They're gonna stop mediocre. They're not gonna chase greatness.
Which is fine.
Only a few men are gonna chase greatness. And
You don't gotta
so
chase, you don't gotta chase greatness, bro. You can chase good. It's a process. There's
I don't
some
even think
guys
men are
that are
gonna,
gonna be content. Some dudes are content making 60 grand a year. To me, that's still the average. I guess it
that's
depends on what
actually above
city you're.
average.
I mean, it depends on what city you're in, but I'm telling you right now, 60 grand ain't
Well,
gonna
New
cut it
York, yeah,
in
it ain't shit in New
it,
York, but
right. It ain't gonna cut it in New York, Miami,
yeah.
Dallas,
But everywhere
or
outside of those major hubs,
right.
most people
Okay, that's
earn
my so
50K,
so if a
40K.
guy worked hard to get to that, if a guy bust his ass, worked hard every day, got up early, did whatever, and 65 grand is where he's at with all that hard work. Okay, bro, that's a beautiful thing because to him, that's 4 or 5 levels higher than where he started. Okay, it's good enough for him. It's cool, right? You don't need to compare him to the guy that makes 200K a year or the guy that makes 150K a year. You don't need to. Whenever guys are moping around and acting all sad, depressed, women too, I always just slide in and remind them, hey, you ungrateful son of a bitch, you're doing better than 75% of the world. You fucking ungrateful piece of shit. What more do you want? You're
Well,
doing better than 75% of the planet's population, and you got the nerve to be bitching, moaning, complaining, and acting like you're somehow a victim, somebody owe you something. It's perspective, bro. If
what
you spend all day looking at the people that have more than you, I promise you that's less people than the people that you have it better than. But you're choosing to focus on the people that have more than you and depress yourself rather than look at the people that have less than you and be grateful. It's your choice. You
well, the
can have a
reason
chick and she's sticking by you. Because this is the other delusion. We'll sit here and say all these women want tall guys, they want guys that got money, and then they expect that guy to be faithful to them. Oh my God, that's so delusional. Okay, there's guys over here expecting a chick that's fine as hell. You see what I'm trying to say? They got all the options in the world, that's in her prime, to settle for them. That's not delusional. That's also
no, it
delusional.
is, and the reason why I brought up the whole, do you think that most people, or do you think most men can become great, or could fix themselves, or could evolve, and
Everybody
all.
can get better results than they're already getting, bro. Everybody can get better
The
results.
reason why brought that up is because you said that you're talking about like one of the solutions is everybody getting on code and doing this and doing that.
Which they
I'm
won't.
I don't have I'm not confident that people are going to do that
No, they're not. They're absolutely
because,
not.
right. And even if that's a solution, it's unachievable because we live in an environment where you know people are content with mediocrity. And look, this is how I look at it. I really look at it like you know fuck it,
Then
screw
it's
it.
not then it's not that competitive though, is my point. Like,
It's
for
not
example,
at the top,
bro,
bro. At the top,
listen. I'm not worried about a guy being tall. I'm not worried about a guy making more money than me. Because here's the thing. I already know that that guy's not going to give the commitment. I already know that. I already know that guy's not going to give a certain degree of quality time. I already know that, right? I know that guy isn't going to pay attention to detail when it comes to that particular individual, right? The nuances of her. So I already know there's plenty of areas where I can outperform this guy. I already know that. If this chick is still gonna choose this guy just because he's taller, well, that's just a dumb individual altogether. So she's weeding herself out. There's no reason for me to boo-hoo and say, you see, female nature, I did everything for her. She left for the taller guy. First of all, I wouldn't have been doing everything for her unless there was some reciprocity. I'd be giving as I'm receiving. And the moment she's giving back, I'm elevating, right? I met a chick the other day. She lives like 3 hours from me. I asked her, hey, are you willing to drive an hour and a half and meet me at this place? I didn't just make it seem ambiguous, like it was a test, like, will you drive and meet me halfway? Are you willing to meet me halfway? Huh? That's not what I said. I picked the date, I picked the place and everything. I said, hey, this place is actually like in the middle of us. Are you down or whatever? And she Googled it or whatever. She's like, oh man, that's an hour and a half drive. I was like, all right, well, whatever. It was a good place and it was in the middle. She's like, no, I don't mind. I'll drive or whatever. I was like, all right, fine. Then she hits me up like a day later and she doesn't text message me, bro. She leaves a voice note. And the voice note, she says, hey, I just realized I actually have class that day. I was wondering, can we change it to Friday? If not, it's okay. I just was wondering. I just thought I'd ask if it's possible to reschedule it. So I messaged her back like, hey, absolutely not. I have something that I need to do on Friday. And also that particular place pops on that night. That's why I wanted to go on a Wednesday night. Um, so don't even worry about it. Just go ahead and go to your class. She says to me, no. I'm gonna cancel the class. I want to see you, so I'm willing to take the drive. Bro, I already was planning to drive the whole way. You get what I'm trying to say? I already got other business over there. The point is, I was testing to see if she was willing to drive halfway before I put in that type of effort. The problem is, majority of the time, guys put in the effort first without testing the waters, bro. They jump in the pool, they didn't test the water, they didn't see how deep it was, nothing. And then they complain when they're drowning and they blame the fucking chick. It's like, bro, nobody told you to do all of that shit. You the one that kept jumping, you know what I'm saying? Jumping over the fucking roof, my dude, for this chick. She didn't give you any indication she's trying to even fuck with you like that. I always give women an opportunity to put some effort in and contribute. I guide them. If they don't go in that direction, I just drop it. I let it go. I'm not persistent. I don't push nothing. If she don't like you, get the fuck out of there. If she don't like you, you're gonna pay too much regardless. Whether it's in time, money, effort, energy, whatever, you're gonna pay too much. Stop playing yourself. Be honest with yourself. It's really not that complicated, bro. If the chick ain't feeling you, leave it alone. Go back to the drawing board. Go to the gym. Go do something constructive in the meantime. When bitches throw choosing signals, bro, it's usually undeniable. Some guys they don't even notice choosing signals. I noticed that. Some guys don't even know what choosing signals look like. But for the most part, we know when a chick is, you get what I'm trying to say? Making herself available.
Yeah,
So all of
it just
this, women are difficult. I promise you guys, trust me when I'm telling you this, women are not difficult at all when they like you. Just like saying that women aren't submissive isn't true because they're submissive at their job. Saying
but
they're
it's
not
hard to
cooperative
get to
isn't
that
true. They're
point.
cooperative with their gay friends and they're cooperative at their job. So
It's just
women
hard,
have all these skill sets. It's just whether or not they're going to use them for you.
and it's just hard to get to that point where women, a lot of men have never been genuinely desired in their lives, and this is why they have all these superstitions where women
So
only like
what?
metal
So
money.
what? A lot of men haven't been rich. So fucking what? A lot of men haven't
Well,
owned any land. A
I'm
lot of
just
men
listen,
haven't started a business.
I look at it like, you know, I look at things for what they are rather than what they ought to be. It ought to be a scenario where you're right. We could all get on code, men raise the status, raise the levels. We get girls to cooperate more. The sad part about all this is really fixable with effort, but no one's gonna do it. The sad part of it all,
Culture. We need a culture correction because we can't reward people for bad behavior and
but
then complain when people choose that bad
but
behavior.
there's no incentive. There's really no incentive that could exist that doesn't already exist, because theoretically, there is a self incentive to do all these things on an individual level. On an individual level, you go to the gym, you're going to look better for every
But the,
girl.
but
You eat healthy, you're going to look better
right.
for every person.
Okay.
No one does it. That's what I'm trying to say. Personal training really put it into perspective for me, because I've started to see now, oh, you people are fucked for life. There is no fixing this.
Yeah,
I've witnessed
there's an
people
issue
that
with
go
the
to the
work
gym
ethic.
for years and never see any results, but they're in the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week,
Wasting their time. Wasting their
wasting their
time.
time. Not get
And they can
at least
okay, and guys do the same thing with dating. Guys will sit there and continue the same pattern expecting a different result. They'll sit
right.
there and keep on going out with chicks that are out of their league, chicks that they gotta spend all this money just for the chick to even agree to the date, and then she's gonna go home and fuck a nigga like me. You see what I'm saying?
So
So
should we
so
only give advanced game anyway? Because only people that are going to really be motivated to work their ass
you
off.
should always be advancing your game, though. We should always be advancing your game. That's my point. Making those adjustments. Listen, making mistakes is fucking awesome. It's fantastic. Making the same mistake more than once is the issue. You got guys that keep doing the same dumb shit over and over and over again. It's like, well, of course you're not getting better results because you're not learning from your experience. You're wasting the experience. The whole point of experience is to fail and then be like, damn, why didn't that work? Where did I go wrong? You see what I'm trying to say? When I first started off talking to girls, it didn't always go well. When I first started off trying to get girls' numbers, didn't always go well. You first start off trying to go on dates and didn't always go well. So that's the thing. The only thing that went well from jump was getting buns, but that's because Shorty showed me what was up. So I already was approaching chicks with the type of confidence that this is something that we're gonna share. This is something that we're both gonna enjoy. I've never had to approach a woman as if like the sex is for me or like you doing me a favor. So majority of the time the way I operate with chicks, they initiate the sex first. And when I say initiate, I'm not saying they making a move. I'm saying they're the ones that bring it up first. You know what I'm saying? Even in the way that I reach out to a chick. If I DM a chick, bro, there's always a compliment built into it that explicitly mentions their physicality, their attractiveness. If she doesn't respond with something equal, then I already know this probably isn't gonna be a go. I'm already pulling back. So if I hit her up, hey, what's up, gorgeous? And she just says, hey, how are you? Ooh, I already know. This is a chick that thinks she's more valuable than me. Why would I waste my time when I know I'm the more valuable one? I already
So
know
do you
I'm the
cut them off
prize.
right away, or you just keep testing?
No, first of all, I'm already on a schedule because
Which one? You,
I'm already not only hollering at her to begin with.
I
So
don't know, but between the
yeah,
two choices I gave you, do you cut them off right away, or you keep testing?
no, I just don't give them any more energy. Now it's on them to give me the energy. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, where are we going now? I just
So you
passed you
cut off
the
your effort.
right. I just threw you a pass. You didn't pass nothing back to me. So if I'm telling you that I find you attractive and you're not confirming the same, why should I invest any more? These
I
niggas
get
keep
that
on
part. I'm
going.
trying to figure out what.
These niggas keep on going, complimenting the girl, asking her out, and all this other shit. You're creating the frame, and the frame that you're creating is, am I worthy, please, pretty please, of your little bit of time, your little bit of attention? Can I please take you out and show you a good time? Bro, I'm not gonna beg a bitch to show her a good time. Make it make sense. So the moment a
I,
woman puts up any type of resistance or any lack of compliance or cooperation, if I tell a chick, hey, what's your Instagram? And she answers me back anything other than her fucking Instagram, I'm already gone. And she messages me back, hey, I'm not on Instagram often. That's not what the fuck I asked you. So I already know you have an issue following directions and following lead because you're answering a question with a question. That's a big no-no for me, because now you're showing me that you have a lack of respect for me. So if you are attracted to me and this is the stupid games that you play, then I already know you're a super headache. If when you like a guy, this is how you act, imagine. So my point is, there's so many women out here. Why would I waste another minute, another 60 seconds on this bitch that's already showing me that she's making me work to show her a good time? I'm the one that got to pay for the date. I'm the one whose time is more valuable than yours. I'm the one that got to plan it. I'm the one that got to make it fun, make it this, make it that. Why am I begging you for an opportunity to do that? I'm the one that's gonna tell you shit that's gonna help your credit, that's gonna help you when you're filing your taxes properly. I'm gonna help you with, you see what I'm trying to say? I'm the one that got game and advice to give you, bitch. I'm adding to your life and you're gonna make that difficult for me. I'm already gone. You see what I'm trying to say?
you want
So
to know where I'm at right now? Where I'm at right now is I'm even cutting off girls who are more than qualified and I enjoy their time. It's just that I have someone I like a little better. I cut off a
that's,
girl.
that's
I
fine
was like,
too.
I cut off a girl recently.
But you should let them know that. You should let them know that though.
I I don't. You know what I'm saying?
You
And then
should. You should.
maybe you would,
You
but
should.
I just honestly, and I maybe ghosting is bad, but I just
And
do it.
this is good for them because we already know
I just
human
do it,
nature.
and I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like you're right. Maybe I should, but in some ways, you know where I don't give a fuck, and it's not even the individual girl's fault because girls have cut me off
No, no, no.
with without explanation.
You let them
I've
know
learned
because you let them know because you got to give people options, right? You got
no.
to
So I had last girl I cut off. Um, and this is what I mean by if I find a girl that I can work with, all the other girls, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, and I could have them. I actually have them at the same time. But I'm so iffy with my time is that I look at it like, well, I don't really want to take both you guys both out on dates. And I don't want to just be spending money on both of
Why
y'all.
don't
And I
you
don't
just
want
take
to
them
put,
out at the same time?
well, the reason why is neither of them would like that. And the other
How
reason
do you
why,
know that? How do you know that?
I just know. Um, I know. There's certain girls that, that would go for that. Some girls that weren't. But I was just trying to the only point I was trying to make to you is that you're talking about girls that give you a hard time, they're being difficult, and that's a good reason to cut them off. I said it's funny because now we're
They don't
talking
give
about
me a hard time. They're just not.
whatever. They're not showing, they're
They're
not
just
giving
not.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not giving back. I'm trying to say I have girls that give back. Like the last girl I cut off and I just ghosted. She her last text to me were dates that she's available. And one of
Right,
those dates are tomorrow.
but give her an opportunity to do more is my point. Give her an opportunity to compete because it's gonna make it more enjoyable and fulfilling for her anyway. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is she says, "Yeah, okay, fine. I'm not doing anything extra," and at least she learns. Because a lot of chicks, the number one biggest question and complaint women have is, why do guys ghost us? Obviously, they're talking about the guys they're interested in because the rest of you motherfuckers are invisible. That's the way the game goes. You don't want to be invisible, make yourself seen, make yourself noticeable. So they'll say, like, oh, why do these guys ghost us? Well, that's the problem. These women don't have the opportunity to improve because the guys who opinions matter are the guys that say the least. Those guys don't explain to these women why they don't want to commit to them, why they move on, why they
I
drop
think
them
they
out of the
should just figure it
rotation.
out. They're
They're
gonna,
not, but they'll never. But hold on, they will never figure it out on their
and
own
that's fine.
because
I'm
they
not
don't
here trying to
understand
be.
us.
I'm not here trying to be, the orbiter of conscientiousness. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to make
Yeah,
sure that
but
I
all
do
of these
what.
chicks that are a headache, they're a headache because of the last dudes they were fucking with. These niggas is these niggas are throwing the fish back in the water worse than they fished it out. That's what I'm saying. So,
So you
for
think if
example,
you ghost somebody, you ruin somebody?
let's try. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you don't give them the opportunity to grow, you don't give them the opportunity that we're looking for, which is to get better, to learn and understand better, so that we can meet in the middle.
I'm
And
the kind of guy. If I just lose interest in a girl, I just stop. I ran into a,
I understand that,
I
bro.
ran into
That's
a
but my
girl.
point is that's a selfish response. Is my point.
I'm selfish.
Like, look how many guys the woman says it's over and she never explains why, and the guy is just racking his brain because he's like, I don't understand what happened. I don't know how she could just up and leave and da da da. Maybe a
It's
guy with
life.
more experience understands what happened, but that guy doesn't understand what happens, and it's making it harder for him to learn and apply himself better the next time and move
It's life,
forward.
man. It's life.
I understand, but I'm just saying this is why the women are the way they are, bro. It's
No, because
because
it happened to me, and I'm not that way myself. I mean, I am ghosting people, and
well,
I've
okay. How often do you like really listen to women, their stories, their situation, and how they got to where they are as far as relationship history? Like, how much do you care? How much do you actually listen to it?
I do it for a living. All I do
Yeah.
is react to girls expressing. This is all I do. All I do,
Mm.
and before I even make a video that's about
Well,
25
I'm
minutes.
talking about one on one though. I'm talking about when they're opening up
I
to
mean,
you.
it's
They're
the
like,
same because to make good content, I gotta,
mm,
I gotta put myself in
mm,
that empathy space, right? So I gotta like really the
mhm,
best way to make content and then become, and this is why I built the audience that I built to even build an audience at this level is to not just watch the clip and just say something stupid. Is to put yourself, and I had to learn how to do this.
mm.
You have to get deeply empathetic with it. Put yourself in the
Okay.
shoes. Make yourself concerned about it. So I'm
Right.
saying that, and I say, and I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong.
All right. So
And
let me ask you this.
I'm not saying that I can't be wrong. I think this is a situation where maybe I am wrong. I just don't care, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not right.
I don't care. The
All of
reason
the
why I don't
time.
care is because I don't feel like I necessarily owe anybody an explanation for why the partner.
It's not that, but I'm just saying is just look at the opposite, right? If everybody was kind of if okay, if it was a cultural norm to give that closure, just think how much better off we would be collectively. This is why all this information
Is
sounds
it in the
new to
collective?
women when you're trying to when you're trying to tell them some shit. So for example, do you think that most women are just bad people? You think female nature is inherently evil, or do you think that they're victims of the circumstances and their experiences?
I don't think any of them are victims. No, I don't. Because see, the reason why I don't take the whole victim thing is because
Mm,
what I've done to that girl, girls do every day to guys, and I'm not doing it to get back at them. I'm not saying, oh, I'm doing it. Yeah, you
mm.
already did it, but I'm not doing it. But what I'm saying is, we're all doing it to each other.
Yeah, that
I
doesn't make
might
them less
ghost
of a
one
victim though.
girl, another girl ghosts me. Like part of this whole game of dating is exactly this. You ghosting some people
All right.
ghosting you. You're
Mm,
chasing after some people chasing
mm.
after you. We
Okay.
all going through it. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so basically you agreeing that they are indeed victims then.
Well, we're all. If that's the case, then we're all victims, and I don't think we
Okay,
all are victims.
but you're conceding to the idea that we're victims, but you're just saying you don't care.
I don't think you're the reason why I don't think they're victims because I think they're I think they're guilty as well.
No, but that doesn't mean they're
How
not
do you
victims.
want to
That
be a
just means that
victim?
we're hold on. That just means we're both victims. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
If one person punches one person in the face and the other person does nothing, the person that got punched in the face is a victim. But if they punch each other in the fucking face, then they fought. They both fought. So what I'm saying is, are they victims or not? You can't say they're not victims because they victimize men. Then yes, they are victims, but we're both victims.
yeah, I guess so. And I think it's
Mm,
all happening at the same time. Like it's everyone knows about that person that they
mm,
really want that feels like they're far to reach. And every person's been that person that someone's really want that been far to reach. I've been that guy
mm,
many times in my life without trying to be that way. Just, you know, I've been in situations where I know a girl really likes me, but I'm caught up with another girl, or I'm not that interested in her, or maybe
Exactly.
it's bad
Okay.
timing,
Right.
whatever it is. And I've learned to say less because I think it's weird to tell someone you're about to ghost them. There's something about that
Well, it
that
wouldn't be ghosting anymore. Is my point. You wouldn't be
well, no,
ghosting.
but to tell someone.
You would just be saying, hey, this is why this isn't gonna work.
So let me give an example, right? Like I remember I dated like the one of the last girlfriends I had last year. Um, she's a fellow vegan girl, only vegan girl I've ever dated. And before we started dating, I knew like, oh shit, this might get serious. And I had a couple other girls on the sideline. So without even letting the girl know that I was like talking to her, I wanted to talk to, and eventually started dating. I was telling the other girls like, "Hey, look, I met somebody. I don't want to be messy, so I think we should stop things here." And she said, "Oh, thank you so much. I respect that. Da, da, da. I appreciate for you for reaching out. Blah blah." Right,
Mhm.
and that was it. She thanked me for it.
There you
That was
go.
it. Right,
And yeah,
but
I appreciate that too.
right, but the crazy part about all that was even though that might have been the right thing to do or whatever, um, I feel like the outcome would have been the same if I didn't say anything. And
No, it wouldn't have because you
and I'll
wouldn't have
tell you
given her
why.
something
I'll
to
tell you why.
initiate.
We're living in an environment now where everybody in some weird odd way, especially through the dating apps, is disposable. And here's why. When you swipe left on somebody, you don't send them a message, hey, this is why I swiped left on you. You just swipe left. They have no idea you rejected them.
But
Every day
that's
we're getting
completely
rejected
different.
by people. We have no
No, that's
clue.
completely different though because
I know it's different. I know
you
it's
were never
different,
engaging with that person to begin with.
but I know it's different. But the my point for saying it is that like nothing's official till it's official. If I'm dating a girl and
No, it's
we're
not about
really,
the officialness of it. It's about the change. It's about there was a change.
I
If I'm
feel
hooking up
I
with a
don't feel an
chick,
obligation to
right?
give somebody a warning sign and I'm out. And maybe, like I said, maybe I could change my mind about that in the future. But I'm just trying to tell you how I felt about it. Um,
Well,
there's some
look,
people that why we're having this
when
conversation right
women do
now.
that, it doesn't help the market, right? When women do it, it doesn't help the market. When you're beating a chick's guts in, and eventually you start getting your own kind of little schedule, kind of sets in subconsciously, where you're like, oh, I'm beating it once a week or twice a week or whatever, right? And then out of the blue, you hitting her up and she's not responding, and she's leaving you on red, and you're like, what the fuck? You have no idea what's going on. Okay, this is perplexing because there's a change. I used to have access. Now I don't have access. You're not telling me why. You're not telling me what happened. Okay, usually what happened is she was already talking to some other guy. You were the one providing the physical so that she could now prioritize all the other things that are more important with this new person she's talking to. And now this new person has finally stepped over that line and given her some type of title, or you get what I'm saying? He's giving her some type of confirmation now. So now she's like, okay, I gotta let this guy, I gotta let Shape go now. The thing is, she's not giving you the fucking dignity of just simply telling you, hey, I started seeing somebody else, so you know, please stop messaging me. Now you're not making a fool out of yourself, still fucking messaging this bitch, still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Now you're not worrying that, you know, something happened or whatever the case may be. So I'm just saying, yeah, I get it. None of these things are mandatory. We don't owe anybody anything. I'm just saying, let's operate in a way that makes the game better. Even if the majority of people aren't, at least we're doing our part. Is what I'm saying. And
You
there's
think ghosting hurts the game?
right. Listen. There's many examples of that. If I'm following a chick, right, and everything is fine at first, and then next thing you know, she acquires a boyfriend or something like that. I'm not following this chick anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can sit here and go, oh, I don't got nothing to do with that. I didn't commit to him. If she still messages me and still blah blah blah, then it's whatever. Or I could respect Buddy as another man from a distance. I don't gotta know him. I don't gotta like him, but I could just give him a certain degree of respect just simply for being another man and say, hey, you know what? This man is obviously putting some type of resources into this bitch. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Doesn't matter if she's willing to do some shit with me on the side or behind his back or whatever. How about I just don't interact with that, right? If I know a chick is married, how about I just leave it alone? Even if she's down to do some shit behind her husband's back, how about I leave it alone? Because when chicks hit me up and they're like trying to do some weird shit and they got to do, but they're like, oh, he knows he's okay. We got an open relationship. I still decline. That shit is weird. That shit's awkward, bro. I don't want any parts of that. So what I'm saying is, if we all stayed on code, or more of us stayed on code, it would just be a better ecosystem in general. We got to stop making excuses and putting it off on the other people. We blame the Pookie and the Ray Rays and shit. It's like, bro, we're not in competition with Pookie and Ray Ray. We shouldn't be. And Pookie and Ray Ray shouldn't be behaving like Pookie and Ray Ray. If they get access to buns, that's great. They shouldn't be making bastard children, though, because now they're fucking it up for everybody. And then we're gonna sit here and blame the baby moms and say, oh, well, they should have married before they carried. If they weren't gonna stay with him, they shouldn't have had a baby with him. Well, we can't do that and also say that women aren't the leaders. Also say that women don't, say exercise agency properly. Also say women don't take accountability. Also say women are emotional thinkers. Bro, we can't do both, is what I'm saying. We can't sit here and point out how they're mentally inferior to us and at the same time blame the single mom in that equation. I'm not saying the single mother's innocent. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not pandering. I'm not making excuses for women. What I'm doing is trying to elevate men to their actual position, not the position that most of them are behaving at, the position that they actually belong at. I don't have any children, bro, but I've got more buns than many people that you can combine, right? How is that possible? It's possible because I don't care what a chick tells me. I don't care if she's on birth control, bro. I don't care if she says she's on birth control. I don't care if she's down to take the pill. I don't care if she believes in abortion, bro. I'm guarding my seed. I don't care how irresponsible she is. I don't care that she'll let me beat it raw. I don't care if she'll let me skeet in her. The point is that I'm not going to participate in the baby making. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So,
Right.
so if more dudes held that level of responsibility, then we would have less single moms out here that are already ruined because they made a mistake that they can't come back from. If the dude didn't participate in it to that degree, the mistake would have been her letting that guy beat with no commitment. It wouldn't be her letting that guy beat with no commitment and having a baby that's going to hold her down forever. You get what I'm saying? So look how hard it is now to find good looking chicks that don't got kids already. Do you really think that's more the women's fault or the guy's fault? Because for every chick that's a single mom, there's some dummy out here that knotted her up that he got to deal with that bullshit too. You see what I mean? So it's not like the L is only on her. It's affecting him negatively as well to a degree. Because I guarantee you, she's not letting him dictate his kids' lives and futures. I guarantee she's not with him, but yet still letting him make all the decisions. I highly doubt that. That means he has a kid with a chick that he has very little say so over the kid. If she's dating other dudes, he has no say so over that. So now your baby mama is getting piped out by other dudes. And the same way that she was negligent with you is the same way she's being negligent with new dudes, except for now they're around your fucking kids. I'm not making this up, bro. You know what I'm saying? She got other dudes skeeting in her face and skeeting in her mouth, but she's kissing your fucking kid in the face, in the mouth. Good
Man.
job, buddy. Good job, buddy. So we could blame that on the mother all day long. Me personally, I can't put all the onus on her because I don't respect her as an equal. I don't look at her as an equal mentally, right? Again, I'm not a misogynist. I'm simply saying I can't on one hand say women are childlike and then on the other hand say why aren't women responsible adults like men? Which one is it, bro? I believe the man is more responsible and should be making the decisions, or I believe that women are capable of making all their own decisions despite the results they're getting.
Well,
So that's all that.
my
Huh?
answer is it's not as simplistic as this is. There's a multi varied factor analysis for this, and
Mhm.
it's complex. Because I want to. I agree with you. Women are like children, but I don't I don't date children. You know what I'm saying? So, and the same point, I don't look at them like children. So there is a personification of that. I agree with you, but there's not a. I don't look at it entirely like that, right? So
Look at
it's
the
not like
analogy like this, bro. I'm not gonna let the chick drive and then complain about where we
I get the
arrive.
analogy. No, I fully get you. Now I'm just trying to say that I'm adding my like 2 cents to it. My 2 cents to it is that it's it's I won't oversimplify that. I won't oversimplify it to that. You know what I'm saying?
Is it possible guys are overcomplicating it though?
Well, I mean, maybe this is where you're simple and other areas you're complicated. We just left off parts of the conversation where you had more of a complex analysis, and I was looking for simplicity, and now it flipped where I'm more going complex and you're going simple, and that's fine. You know,
No,
this is
no, but
my
what I'm saying is, generally speaking, could it possibly be guys are just simply overcomplicating it? I'll give you an example. Work on self, create value and attraction. Okay, step motherfucking uno. That would be step one. Before talking to girls, before any other dumb shit, build some type of value in yourself. Build some type of value and attraction within yourself first. Women liking that is a side effect of it. It shouldn't be the reason why you want to be valuable, the reason why you want to be good at some stuff, the reason why you want to be attractive. You should want to be those things for yourself, right?
well,
So,
I don't
so
begrudge. I think the biggest difference between me and you is, you belabor your point, so I hear it. Like, yeah, you don't think women pussy should be the motivation. I don't belabor people for what their motivation is. I don't begrudge them. I think
me,
if you
me
want,
neither. I'm just saying that's the first step, regardless.
yeah, but
Regardless of why you do it, it's the first step. And if you do that first, then when you're engaging with women, just be conscious of their degree or level of attraction. That way you can somewhat place yourself. You start figuring out where do you fit on the scale at this given moment. Once you figure that out, deal with the chicks that actually like you. Now, once you're dealing with the chicks that actually like you, you have some influence over them. Now that you have influence over them, now you lead and direct where you see fit, where you see best for both of you. That is the best case scenario, and that's going to work for all levels because it's the same blueprint regardless of the level that you're on. It's the same steps. First, be valuable and attractive enough to attract women, then figure out what women are actually attracted in you. That's the ones you deal with, and then when you deal with them, you deal with them on your terms. Now, any way you do that out of order, it's not going to go the way you want it to go. If you don't build the value first, now you're trying to subsidize the value, substitute it with shit you put in the middle, which is paying for expensive dates, buying tickets to some shit just to get the girl to go out with you. You see what I'm trying to say? Now you're doing too much, and you're still not getting her to be attracted to you. You're just getting her to tolerate you for those easy, quick things you're willing to give her. So now you're engaging with her on her terms. Everything just went to shit because you didn't do step one first. And then after step one, everything will go to shit if you don't do step two properly. And then after step two, everything will go to shit if you don't do step three. So that's what I'm
right.
saying, bro. Guys are overcomplicating it by taking in all of this information, all this statistics, and all this other bullshit that really doesn't matter unless you're doing those key things first. All that other information is useless if you don't do those key things first. Once you're doing those things, now that information matters. Just like a guy's personality, a guy's integrity, all of that stuff doesn't matter until the girl's already attracted to him. She's not going to value him being nice or him being thoughtful or considerate or being a provider or any of those things if he wasn't first attractive to her. If not, she's just going to look at him as a tool. She's going to look at him as a means to accomplish what's on the other end. That's that's all I'm fucking saying, bro. It's really not that complicated when you look at it that way. Guys just need to first figure out how to make themselves attractive as an individual. And they can't say they don't know what that is because we know what that is. We know what women is attracted to. There's never been a dispute over that. We've always known what women find attractive. That's why when we see the unattractive guy with the woman, we already know he's filling in the blanks with other shit. We already know that. When we see that with her with the tall, good-looking guy, we also know that he doesn't have to do all that extra shit.
Right.
We already know. So why are we playing dumb, bro? We just need to apply it to ourselves. We gotta take a look at ourselves and say, where am I at as an individual? That's all I'm saying, bro. When you go and get a gun, why do you go and get a gun? You go and get a gun because you've already established and recognized that other men could be a threat. You're gonna need to protect yourself. You already know that. You see what I'm trying to say? You already know. You can't act like, I don't know. It's a dangerous world. What should I do? You know what the fuck to do, right? Get a gun and learn how to use it. You know that. Oh, how do I have a successful life? How do I acquire status and power? Be a high earner. That's a start. It's not exclusive to that, but we know that's one of the main components. And we know that the budget's going to be required in order to do the other things, the other areas that are going to increase your status. So why are we acting like we don't know? It's like when people come up to me and they're like, yo, bro, hey man, like how do you put on muscle? Stop asking me stupid questions because I don't have time for that. I don't have time to answer stupid questions. You already know the fucking answer. We've always known the answer. Eat a lot of protein and lift weights. When has it been something different? Stop. It's never been something different. What you're asking me for is some type of cheat code, some type of secret, some type of easy way, some type of shortcut. Stop. Stop asking for that. So let's be honest, bro. That's what guys are asking for. And when they find out there's no cheat code, then they start blaming everything else. They start blaming female nature and blaming this and blaming the economy and blaming social media and blaming dating apps and blaming. Shut up, bro. Because the formula has always been the same. We live in different times, different influences, but yet and still the formula has always been the goddamn same. We
Right.
know that. Men have always wanted power, and women always want proximity to that. Period. If you want your girl to be fucking you frequently and consistently, why don't you try actually being good in bed so she wants to fuck you? How many niggas is whining and complaining about being in a sexless marriage as if this is rocket science? When I speak to women, bro, what they tell me, because that's the thing, guys act like women don't have an experience. Meanwhile, talking about how women don't understand the male experience. No shit, we have different experiences. That means they have one too. So we can complain about how rotten women are and how they're gold diggers and they expect you to spend a lot of money and they give it up to Tyrone. We can complain about our issues. They're valid. We experience them. They're real. But guess what? Women's issues and experiences are also fucking real. We're
Right.
talking about the fact that she gives it up to Tyrone, but she's the one messing with Tyrone. So you don't think Tyrone's an experience to her? We can say it's her fault, but if that's the case, we also got to be able to say that it's this guy's fault also. When this guy gets used, when he's a simp and he's in the friend zone, we got to also say, well, hey, it's your fault. If it's a woman's fault when Tyrone does her dirty, right, and cheats on her and breaks her heart and makes her cry, she should have known better. Okay, well then you should have known better too, then homeboy, when you were fucking with this chick, when you were in the friend zone, because she didn't put you in the friend zone, you put yourself in the friend zone. She didn't put a gun to your head and say, listen to all my problems, pay for my food and take me out and give me boyfriend energy and get no pussy for it. She didn't put a gun to your head and make you do that. You participated in that. You could have declined. The moment she said she wasn't interested in your advances, you could have declined and kept it moving. But you wanted to stick around and hope that maybe sort of somehow pussy was gonna fall out of the sky without you working on yourself. That's what you wanted. You wanted a shortcut. You wanted a cheat code. You wanted somehow to get the reward without doing the work. Knock it off. And these women are doing the same thing. They don't want to find a guy that's ambitious, that has potential, grind out with him, be a helpmate, help him get on his purpose, help him. Well, I shouldn't say help him get on his purpose. He's already on his purpose. They didn't want to fall into a man's program and help a dude when he was on the come up. They wanted to wait until after he finished and crossed the finish line to jump on his team. Right or wrong? That's what these women are asking for. They're asking for guys that are already successful and they want to jump on this nigga's team when we should already know that the best way to get that and secure that is to be a good scout. Scout a motherfucker before he makes it to the NBA, so to speak. You got to scout that nigga while he's playing college ball and get in there good with him and be very helpful. You know what I'm saying? Help him with his homework, make his sandwiches, pack his gym bag, and all that other bullshit. Just like this nigga Drake said, you wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym. Well, what's the reverse of that bar? If the chick was with the nigga while he was shooting in the gym, he's far more likely to cherish her, value her, and put her in a position when he gets there. So these women are looking for a shortcut, and then they're complaining that they're the victim when the shortcut doesn't work. These niggas are doing the same thing. They
Right.
thinking I'm gonna be nice, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna listen to her problems, and then she's supposed to give me some pussy. You're not a nice guy, nigga. You're a chameleon. You're over here pretending to be some shit you're not to try to get the box, and she's on to you. So that's what I'm saying. You put the time in and put the grind in and built the value. Now you could not be the Tyrone and just do right by the bitch once you get her attention. Because it's not that women like guys that treat them like shit. It's that women like attractive guys, and attractive guys tend to treat the women like shit. Let's be honest. Let's stop being disingenuous with the narratives that we give and insinuate. That's how we insinuate it. When women say all men cheat, they're insinuating that literally all men cheat. Like inherently we cheat, and that's not the case. It's the dudes that you choose tend to cheat. So, what are the characteristics that you keep picking over and over again? Or is it not the characteristics, but it's the situation, it's the scenario? You keep trying to pick niggas who have already busted their ass to build attractiveness, and you're expecting them to give it exclusively to you for nothing. That's really what it is. It's not that these guys are really necessarily bad people. It's that they had to do whatever they had to do to get up here, and women are thinking, I'm just gonna meet you up there, and you're gonna be mine and only mine because I said so. And dudes are like, no, why? No, why? I'm gonna enjoy all this pussy that's available to me because I had to work for it. And women who work on their bodies and look good and all this other stuff, what do? They garnish all that attention. They put their cash app in their fucking bio. You see what I'm trying to say? And they accept all what they can get for where they are in life. They're
Right.
not toning that down for no dude. They're not about to you know what I'm saying, terminate their Instagram and take down their TikTok and their GoFundMe and their, you know what I'm saying, and their Cash App and all that shit to be with one dude. No, they're gonna keep on taking in all that access resources. So guys are doing the same thing when they get to that point. But
Right.
the
I think
narrative.
look, and I think you drove your point home, bro. I think that it's not just yeah, I don't think it's just females to blame. I do think that,
Mhm.
you know, we gotta hold everyone accountable. But you know, some games women are in charge of, some games men are in charge of. And even if we feel like we lead the entire way, there's certain things that women naturally lead, and we gotta respect that, you know. And
Yeah, but we choose to play though. That's the point. In
right,
that time, you choose to play, and
right,
that's a
right.
beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
So, bro, but damn, I don't know if you you wanted to go for an hour. We went for three
Yeah,
hours.
no, we good. We good now. I rescheduled that other thing, but it's all good, man.
Yeah. So
No, I appreciate you, dog. I just want guys to see that they can take the initiative, bro. At the end of the day, nobody needs to hold anybody accountable. Really, what it is that everybody needs to hold themselves accountable. That's how you get results, bro. Hold yourself accountable.
and I would love to see that, because to me that's been my secret to how I had success, is where I put it all on myself. I put
Oh
everything
yeah.
on myself. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's a girl's fault, I still blame myself, because that put me in the locus of control. I don't want to have an external locus of control where if I want to see some improvement in my life, someone else got to change.
Hey man, it makes the game fun, bro. It makes it. I don't know. Listen. When you catch it, when you start getting some W's, you want the difficulty to turn up a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, well, it gets boring.
the
It
game
gets-
the game gonna get difficult on its own. The game is as hard as it can be. But all right, but bro, yo, man, thank you, bro, for blessing people. It seems like you just definitely kept the crowd here. The crowd's here tuned in, because I haven't really said a word. The crowd's definitely here for you. So I appreciate you guys. If you guys like my boy Yende, let me know in the replay as well. You know, a lot of the comments that are here in the live, you guys can't see because I didn't bring them up. But shout out to Ray Mambo. Shout out to Azriel First. Shout out to Cuban. Shout out to everybody that stuck with us in this live stream. You know, I want to bring people who have different opinions than me. You know, because hey, look, you know, we're here. We're in a community. We're not just one-offs, right? I'm not the dictator or nothing like that. I'm just somebody having a conversation. But follow my brother Authentic Alphas. He's really pushing his channel. He's going to be dropping a lot of new content himself. Where else can they follow you, my brother?
I mean, right now, just YouTube, man. Authentic alphas, everything correct spelling, and there's so much classic content over there, man. How do you say evergreen? There's stuff that,
Yeah, you got
trust me,
that.
bro.
You got the
It
interview
aged it
with
aged
Andrew
well.
Tate. The Andrew Tate interview is pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
and you definitely had some exposures. I ain't gonna say what. People could go look to see the different drama you've been in throughout the years, and so
Yeah,
maybe
not
we'll
too
get a
much
chance to
though.
tell more of your story next time.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
in the
mean, not too much.
meantime, I'm gonna put his links in the description. You guys go follow, go subscribe. He's also on Instagram. You want to tell me your Instagram?
The Instagram is Coach Ayende, and it's like, man, that's just my personal Instagram, man. I don't really got no content or anything like that over there. So I'm
That's how they can
maybe.
message you, because they can't message you on
Yeah. Oh, okay.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
like to message anybody, yo. So yeah, if you want to
Um.
message him, hit him up on his
Yeah. My
Instagram,
email is in there.
Coach Ayinde,
Hmm.
Ayindei. Okay,
Hmm.
hit my brother up, and if he can help you, he can help you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you guys can coach with him.
Absolutely.
Maybe he could train you. You know, he if you're trying to do bodybuilding, he's been there before. He knows exactly what it takes. But I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for your help, man.
Absolutely, man. Shout
Thank
out
you
to
for your time.
Jeff for making the introduction. That boy is on fire. So
Yeah, bro.
yeah, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for
He's out
having
of
me.
here.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. And yeah, you guys, man, please give us some of your kind words on the replay. We want to hear how far you listen up to. If you like anything that my boy's saying, please let us know in the comments. And hit up the memberships, bro. My memberships are live. Join the Silver Squad. Join the Gold Squad. Any kind of support counts. I appreciate you guys. And you guys have a wonderful night. My boy Yende, appreciate you, my brother.
We out of here, man. Peace.
Yes. Everybody, y'all take care, man. Until next time.